Kincade and Andrew Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Yes, good morning to you, Philadelphia. I'm Andrew Salciunas. John Kincade on vacation this week. He will be back next week before he exits Philadelphia and heads to the ATL. So you got me, you got Connor Thomas today. Amy Fadul will be in studio from 8 to 10, as she normally is on Tuesday mornings. And yesterday we get to talk about an insane game for one individual and a nice win for the entire team of the Philadelphia Phillies. So before we talk about said individual, Trey Turner, what a night. Phillies beat the Dodgers yesterday, 10-7. And the Dodgers made it a ball game late because Chase Shugart went out there for sort of mop-up role duty when the Phils were up 10-4, and he gives up 3 runs, and then you just have to bring in Duran to close out the game, which sucks. But the Phillies get the win, 10-7, 56-45 on the season. They needed a bounce-back win after losing 2 of 3 to the Mets. They're still 3 games back of the Braves. It's not perfect right now for the Phillies. We know that. But I wonder for a lot of people, because yesterday was a day of emotion, all right? And I'm looking at my man Connor Thomas, too. Because Connor, for once in a blue moon, was almost like alarmed by the Phillies. Yesterday, going into the show, he sends me the text, hey, you do realize that the Phillies have the 5th most difficult schedule in Major League Baseball the rest of the season. I go, oh, wow, I did not notice that. Like, I didn't notice that. I knew that this week was going to be difficult, 3 against the Dodgers and then 3 against the Yankees, but I didn't realize league-wide 5th most difficult schedule. We talked about the trade deadline now being 13 days away. Yesterday was 2 weeks away, and how there's so many teams in the mix that there doesn't seem to be that team that you could just target to try to make a trade for a player to make this team better. There is no right-handed super power bat that's available out there. There might be a couple of arms out there, but the dreams of like Aroldis Chapman being the 8th inning guy, those are dead because the Red Sox won again yesterday, their 14th straight game. So I get it. Yesterday was a day for a lot of people where the Phillies, coming off of a series loss against the Mets, looking at the outlook of Major League Baseball, looking at the path ahead for the Phillies. Yesterday was an emotional day for a lot of you. And I said on the show, hey, this sucks, 2 of 3 to the Mets. But I may have overreacted just a tad last year when the Phillies got swept by the Mets. I thought the Phillies were not going to win the division. I thought the Mets were going to go on some run moving forward. I thought that the Mets at the trade deadline made so many better moves than the Phillies, and I was wrong. And so I was not going to allow that to happen to me again after this series against the Mets. Yesterday was a win for the Phillies that I wonder at 610-632-0975. Davis on the text line, phone line, voice memos. I want to hear your voices, so I would prefer calls and voice memos, but however you want to be a part of the show, you be a part of it. Was last night a reminder for you about how good this Phillies team can be? I'm not saying elite and they're going to win a World Series. Just yesterday, and Connor, you weren't as emotional as some of our listeners yesterday, but yesterday, there were a lot of emotional people talking about how the Phillies stink. They're not going to win anything. You had a moment where you still question whether or not they even make the playoffs. So that was a little emotional. But was last night for you a reminder that this Phillies team can still be good? Because I watched the game, ear to ear smiling yesterday saying, see, this is why I wasn't as emotional as a lot of people were during the show.
I mean,
that's coming from me. That's a lot.
Sure. I didn't need a reminder of how good this team could be. I know how good this team could be. It's about how they can play consistently. And even last night, yes, great win. Scored 10 runs, beat the Dodgers 10-7. They had to hit a season high in home runs just to win that by 3 because the bullpen is not good enough.
Well, Sugar's not going to be pitching in a big spot in any game.
Andrew, they don't have anybody else.
You got your cleaning from Kirkering, kind of.
Did you? Because he gave one up, an inherited runner, which we saw a lot from last year.
What else is no?
And I trust him more than the average guy.
Gave up a run.
Yeah, Alvarado had a clean inning. You're not going to get that much from him because he's got 6+ ERA still. Sure, they could be a really good baseball team because their top-end talent is really good. That's why you can't say they have no shot.
Right.
It's never going to happen. But the problem is you've got to do what they did last night consistently for a month. Do you believe this team has that in them? I didn't see anything yesterday where I was just like, oh, okay. Well, now I know they're a consistent baseball team. In fact,
but here's what you did see yesterday. You saw a team once again play bigger against a big opponent, and we've seen that, right? Like I don't know what their record is this year off the top of my head against playoff teams versus non-playoff teams. You know, I feel like if you went to the bar and talked to somebody, the immediate reaction would be, well, they beat the bad teams and they lose to the good teams. And I laugh at that because when you're a team that wins 90-plus games year in and year out, some of those wins, some of them were against good teams. It wasn't just all against bad teams. And last night was a reminder that, look, against a team like the Dodgers, and as much as I freaking hated the message, and I still hate the message, and I will not change my hatred for the message, when they talked about how close they were to beating the Dodgers, they weren't wrong. I hated that they were saying it in 2025 and right before the season started in 2026 when we've been dealing with this since 2022. Like, don't say this to me. Come on, like, don't blow smoke up there. All right, chill. But they're not wrong when they say they're right there with some of the best teams in baseball, and he's got a reminder of that last night.
Sure, you could say that. But what I look at is a team that needed to score 8+ to beat the Dodgers. They had their ace on the mound, the Phillies did, Christopher Sanchez, who looked good yesterday. So that's a great sign for them. The bullpen's still rough. They are the worst defensive team in baseball. They flashed that graphic on the ESPN broadcast last night. Like, sure, it was a nice win, but everything it took to just win that game, and not even totally comfortably because you got to go to Duran with 1 out left in the ninth. Yes, this team can beat the Dodgers on a given night. They might even be able to win a series against the Dodgers if everything falls perfectly. But the problem with this team is consistency, and Trey Turner was the perfect encapsulation of that last night.
Look, I get it. I mean, I hate this team. It's a love-hate relationship. But, again, I think yesterday we were a little too emotional. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anybody was wrong for thinking, hey, I don't think they're going to win anything, because I don't. Hello, again, I'll once again say it on July 21st this time. I don't think this Phillies team is winning a World Series unless they go all in for some sort of trade at the trade deadline, and I don't know what that is because Trout's not going anywhere. Buxton's not going anywhere. I don't think they're in it for Skubal. There's going to be a lot of teams that are in it for Skubal, and they don't have the prospects to do it. Like, I don't think the Phillies are going to make some major splash. But if they do, then I might readjust my beliefs on where this Phillies team could go. But if they don't, which I assume that they're not going to, I feel comfortably saying July 21st that the Phillies are not winning the World Series. And that the window closed the second they lost to the Diamondbacks. And that sucks to say that already. But I can't live in that fear every single day. Like, on a night like last night, after a show like yesterday's show, where a lot of people were talking about how bad this baseball team is, you got a nice win yesterday. Now, you brought up Trey Turner. And like, today's, it's fascinating how the world can work. So last week, I mean, we talked about it just yesterday. Last week, we asked the audience, was Trey Turner one of the most disappointing contracts that you can think of? And the reason why we said the word disappointing and not bad, because a lot of people took it that way. Like, he doesn't stink. He won the batting title last year. Yes, I know. If you just take the 90 seconds to watch the video and not just read the blurb, but
people are busy.
That's society. I get it. Like, God forbid you take a minute to watch something. Last week, we asked you, hey, is Trey Turner's contract one of the most disappointing? Because he's playing in his 4th season with the Phillies. This season has still been a bad season. Even though he had a great game last night offensively, it's still been a bad season for Trey Turner compared to other seasons before he came to Philadelphia. He has had 2 good seasons and 2 bad seasons. He can change that over the next 50, 60-plus games. He could. We'll see. But we asked that question because everybody was so excited for Trey Turner, and we thought Trey Turner was going to be the guy that got them from losing in the World Series to winning a World Series. And, we haven't seen that yet. So after that show happens, Trey Turner decides to go on a bit of a tear offensively. He goes 1 for 4 against the Mets with a home run in Game 1 of that series. He goes 3 for 4 with a home run in Game 2 of that series. He goes 1 for 3, including a walk, that one hit being a double in Game 3 of that series against the Mets. And then last night against the Dodgers, Trey Turner goes 3 for 5 with 2 home runs, drives in 5 RBI, hits a double yesterday. So all 3 of his hits were extra base hits yesterday. And what you saw last night offensively, I will once again repeat the word offensively. What you saw last night from Trey Turner on the offense is the guy that you were expecting. Now, maybe not 2 home runs. Like, I'm not going to ask for Trey Turner to start hitting power. He's got 4 home runs in the last 4 games. But Trey Turner being a factor in the lineup is exactly what you have been waiting for, and that you saw for majority of the season last year, and that you saw for bits in 2024. Statistically, it seems like it was the whole year, but it was bits in 2024. Right now, we're watching the Trey Turner that you were hoping to get when you first signed him. Now, that's the offense. He sucks at shortstop. He's really bad. This isn't Yips anymore. I mean, this has been years and years and years here, unfortunately, how bad he is at shortstop. And so I would take the bat every day. Like, I'll deal with the bad defense. Trey Turner is not the first big paid player that was really good at offense and not the best defensive player. The problem is usually those guys can be put into a corner outfield somewhere, or they're a DH. And you already have that. Like, you already have Kyle Schwarber, so you're not all of a sudden putting Trey Turner as the DH and putting Kyle Schwarber out in the field somewhere. Trey Turner is your shortstop unless the Phillies finally make the decision that they should make and should have made a while ago, should have made last season, should have made the season before that, and put him at second base. You can't have your shortstop being this bad. You just can't. And I'm not saying he's going to all of a sudden be some elite second baseman just because he's on the other side of the bag. Like, I don't know how that's going to go, but I need my shortstop to be freaking good. And I know that Bryson Stott is. I don't know if Bryson Stott is an elite shortstop. It's been a while, right? We haven't seen him play shortstop in many seasons. But I know that the guy's an elite glove. And that translates to other positions, especially middle of the infield. There's going to be some baseball guy that's out there saying, oh, no, the angles are different. Trust me, I know. I know the sport. I know that the angles are different. But I know that Trey Turner, regardless of the angle, obtuse angle, acute angle, he stinks. He can't play in the field, or at least at shortstop. I don't know why they're so hesitant to do it. I don't care if it's because it's what Trey Turner wants or doesn't want. I get it. He's got a lot of money next to his name. It's not like some embarrassing decision to make to say, hey, Trey, we're going to put you at second base. You're not saying, hey, Trey, you're going to be the DH now because you're so bad. It's just, we're going to move you to second base, and we're going to give it a go. It might be worse. And if it is, then you put him back at shortstop. But what are you doing to yourself right now? You're putting a guy out there that literally can't field the baseball. So what's the point of not trying it is all I'm asking. I'm not saying this is the easy solution. He's going to be so much better at second base, and Bryson Stott will be so much better at shortstop. I'm just asking the question why you wouldn't try it.
Yeah, there's got to be some type of agreement that is not public, but he has with the team. We played that thing in headlines a couple weeks ago where Jimmy Rollins was talking about how he had an agreement. He doesn't play Sundays in Montreal because he liked to enjoy the night out.
Right.
And then he was pissed because he was in the lineup one day. I imagine that there is some agreement where Trey's like, hey, if I'm coming there, I'm the shortstop. And they have been on that party line with the team, and they refuse to move that out of respect for the player that he's been in his career. That's the only explanation.
Okay, and then every once in a while you go, hey, Trey, I know that that's what we talked about 4 years ago, but this is what's best for the team right now is for us to try something else.
I get it. They did that with Max Kepler last year, but Trey Turner is not Max Kepler. Right? This is a guy that you've got locked down for a long time.
They also did that
for
out
a
of
lot
necessity because they benched Nick Castellanos because he cried himself to sleep because he got pulled from a game earlier for the correct baseball decision.
Yes.
So, I'm not going to compare the Max Kepler they tried right field, versus Trey Turner trying second base. Trey Turner's played second base in Major League Baseball.
No, I'm talking about the playing time conversation from last year where Kepler was like, you guys told me I was playing, and he was upset that he wasn't.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant when they...
No. I'm not talking about positional changes in that
well,
aspect.
Max Kepler, why don't you stick another needle in your ass? That's all I'm saying.
Yes. It's not about Kepler. My point is this. People don't give enough credit to managing the personalities in the clubhouse. Right or wrong, that is a huge part of the sport, and I don't think people outside see it.
What personality does Trey Turner have? That dude's a blanket. He's got no personality. He's got a good bat right now. He's got a horrible glove right now. To me, it is such a simple solution to just try it. Just like how Bryce Harper did when a bat leadoff. What did Don Mattingly do?
Yeah.
Tried it. Doesn't have to be for 10 games. Doesn't have to be for 20 games. Doesn't have to be for the rest of the season unless it works. What if it does?
That's the thing. Like I agree with you. I want to be clear on this. Like I'm talking from the Phillies' perspective. I would move Trey Turner off shortstop today if I could, but they haven't shown any willingness to do that. The problem is you move him to second base once, you're going to see what we expect to see. Like you are going to see better defense at shortstop from Bryson Stott than you get from Trey Turner.
Oh darn, our team got better. Like that's what I don't get. I understand that athletes have egos. All right, I work in an industry where, my God, you would think that you would have to cut open a part of the door to let somebody walk through. All right, like I know how egos can be a factor in professions, especially in professions where there's a lot of money, which sports has it, radio not so much. Sports has all that money. But damn it, dude, like if it's, hey, we have to worry about what Trey Turner likes. What if it is better? Good. It should be better. We're talking about a freaking World Series that this team has come short of year in and year out. You have to do whatever it takes. It's why there are organizations that are successful. It's why the Eagles are the best. It's why Vic Fangio says, Bryce Huff, you stink. I'm not going to play you. I don't care how much money you're making. Who won the Super Bowl? The Eagles did. Like, the Phillies have to make a decision soon because I don't want this being, it was too late. You know, there was only 2 weeks left in the regular season. We can't try this. If Trey Turner can't play a lick of defense, you move him. You try to move him to a different position. You see how it works, and you go, hey, Trey, look. Come here. Sit down, Trey. You've had a great couple of games offensively. That's what we want you to focus on right now. Because I put this out on social media yesterday. I've said it a couple times to you. The right-handed bat they're missing is on the team. It's him.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Derek Hill.
No, he did have a home run yesterday. The right-handed bat that this Phillies team has been missing is Trey Turner. If Trey Turner can hit consistently, sure, we're still talking about needing a right-handed bat in that seventh spot in the order, right? Like, you can't have a left-handed heavy lineup, and whenever you play your platoon guys, they absolutely stink. But Trey Turner is that right-handed bat that this team is actually missing, a consistent approach from him and not these 0 for 70s that we see sometimes. What he did this weekend and what he did last night is what you need to see more often. And so if I'm Don Mattingly, I go, look, this is what we need from you. We're going to try you at second base. We need you to focus on your bat, period. And if he goes to the freaking plate peeing himself because he's playing second base, then that's his own freaking problem. And then I don't want to.
No. See, that's the ego, all right? So slow down for me. That's not his own freaking problem. If you lose him mentally because you move him, the team is worse off. You can't just say, well, he's a loser then. Because guess what? Then your team's a loser. I'm not willing to cut off my nose to spite my face. And also you say, if you're Don Mattingly, well, Don Mattingly doesn't exactly sound like he's interested in moving Trey Turner anytime soon. Because he talked about it after the game, and he basically doubled down on everything going on.
Do we have the audio?
We do.
All right, take a listen.
Trey's our guy. Trey works every day. So it's not like Trey's out there doesn't care about defense. Trey cares about his defense. He wants to make plays. He's working every day. So we ride with Trey. And knowing that, and we talked, somewhere in that game, just about you got to put it behind you, right? You put those plays behind you. And he's not bothered by, like, what people would say. He wants to make plays. He wants to win, and he wants to get better, and he knows he's better than that. I trust Trey, honestly, and I trust all our guys. And Trey's going to make some great plays. There's going to be errors with everybody. So, again, Trey works. So he's out there every day working on his ground balls. He's working on his hands, all that type of stuff. So as long as Trey works, we ride with Trey.
How's that?
I mean, I hate every second of it.
But that's where they're at. That's all I'm telling you.
I'm sorry. Like, I Don, like, your man's not here. John's not here. John and Don. Like, and I don't think John would appreciate that clip very much.
He'd find some way to.
Like, yo, dude, I try every day. If I stink, I stink. All right? And the people upstairs, and I'm not talking about the Lord, like the people upstairs will make that decision one day, right? I try every day. You try every day. We all try every day. If we suck at our jobs, like if I got fired from the Fanatic today and I said, all right, I want to be an electrician. I'm working really hard, though, man. Like, I'm carrying the wires, and I'm climbing up the ladders. I don't know what the frick to put together. I might explode and die, but I tried.
Yeah, maybe don't do that.
Like, but that's the thing. Like, don't give me this. He tries every single day. And you trust him. He has the most errors in Major League Baseball. And if they actually counted errors the way they should, he'd have more than 15. Like he would. He botched three balls. He botched 3 balls yesterday and got tattooed for 1 error. Like if they actually did errors in baseball anymore, he's got 20 plus errors this season. He's at 15 right now, which leads the league, tied with a couple other players, and of course the shortstops. But Trey Turner, I don't trust. Like I disagree with you, Don Mattingly. I don't trust Trey Turner. Like when I see a ball hit his way, I'm worried.
I agree with you.
Like trust is a ball's. I play freaking men's league baseball, man. There are guys that where the balls hit to them, I trust them. I don't even have to watch them make the play. All right? That's men's league. I'm watching freaking Trey Turner, $300 million man, balls hit his way. I don't look away. I watch in fear. So don't give me you trust him. He's out there working every single day. If you're talking about we want to win and Trey wants to win, then maybe try stuff. I'm not saying it's the final solution. I'm not saying play Trey Turner at second base. Here we go. This is what we're doing the rest of the year. Just give it a shot is all I'm asking. All right, so yesterday, was that a reminder to you that this team can be good, that it can compete with the best teams in baseball? They beat the Dodgers last night. And our Trey Turner conversation, because the reaction to the video that dropped last week, a lot of Phillies fans were very taken aback by it, especially because of the timing of it. It ended up dropping the next day after Trey Turner had a good day offensively. He had another good day offensively last night, but man, did he have a horrible day in the field. Yesterday, we asked you a question. How do you view the Phillies? No debates. All right, this is not a debate topic. It's just how do you view them, the Phillies? We're going to single in on Turner today. How do you view Trey Turner? Do you view him as a disappointment, ultimately? Do you view him as the superstar that you thought you were getting? Do you view him as a piece? Do you view him as a solution? Do you view him as one of the issues as to why they've not won the World Series? How do you view Trey Turner? He had a great day offensively yesterday. Not on the defense. 610-632-0975. So we'll check the Davis Honda text line coming up later on this hour. Also, coming up next, LeBron James. And of course, he did not make a decision yet. But at least we have more podcast audio to react to. And also, one reporter said something about a team of interest for LeBron, and I will once again use this for ammo, that he should not go to other teams other than Philadelphia. It's Kincade and Salciunas, Johnny out, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A crazy night for Trey Turner. I'm Connor Thomas, and Trey Turner had a wild night as the Phillies took down the Dodgers 10-7 last night in South Philadelphia. He had multiple fielding miscues at shortstop as his issues in the field continued, and he also went 3 for 5 with 2 homers. Turner talked after the game about the roller coaster of a night.
Just ridiculous game in general by me, which I was happy we got the win, but just roller coaster of up, down, up, down. But, when you do things like that or have games like that, sometimes you just got to laugh about it.
There are also some milestones in the game. Turner was his second home run was his 200th career homer. Bryce Harper hit his 200th career homer as a Philly. And the Phils had 5 homers altogether with Brandon Marsh and Derek Hill joining the party. That was the most in a game so far this season. Game 2 against the Dodgers is tonight at 6:40 p.m. Zach Wheeler on the mound against Eric Lauer. LeBron watch continues. As his agent Rich Paul said yesterday that the decision is not going to be rushed. We'll keep you updated as more news comes out. The Eagles are officially 1 week out from reporting to training camp, and the Union will resume their season after the World Cup break tomorrow night. Amy Fadul will join us from the 8 o'clock hour till the end of the show. Zach Berman of The Athletic joins us at 9:05. This update is brought to you by the New Jersey Department of Health. Public Health works behind the scenes, building a healthier future for everyone. One mission working for you. Learn more at nj.gov/health. I'm Connor Thomas on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
All right. Was last night a reminder for you that this Phillies team can win baseball games against good baseball teams? They did that last night against the Dodgers, 10-7, in a wild way. As Connor pointed out, the bullpen still wasn't good, and Trey Turner was horrific at shortstop, and yet Trey Turner went 3 for 5 with 2 home runs, drove in 5 ribbies. Our own Sean Rodman comes in during the commercial break, and he goes, hey, I'm going to post, one of the clips from the Open. Would you rather me post something regarding Trey Turner's bat or Trey Turner's defense? I said, can you please, if you're going to do the defense part, do both? Because I can't deal with the whole, he had such a good game yesterday, and all you're talking about is his defense. I can't deal with that today. I'm sorry. I usually don't care what people say. I can't deal with that this morning. Because last week was unbelievable. The way people acted like Trey Turner's like some holy child that we can't say anything about. Trey Turner had a great game offensively yesterday, a horrible game defensively, and it's not ripping Trey. Let me make that clear. It's not ripping Trey. It's ripping the organization for not just trying something. And I feel like we've had this conversation for 3 straight years now that if he's really bad at shortstop, which he has been, like the entire time he's been a member of the Phillies, except for like a little bit of a time where he was doing everything backhanded and he was good at it. It's always been Trey Turner's not the best shortstop on this roster. The best shortstop on this roster plays second base. You got to at least give it a shot if you're serious about trying to win. Forget egos, forget feelings. If you're actually trying to win, like we all say, we'll talk about LeBron here in a second. We all say we're doing whatever we can to win. Then do it. Then do whatever you can. Yeah, right now I don't think that that's true.
It is ripping Trey.
Well, no. Yes, I will confidently say Trey Turner stinks at defense. But what I'm not like I would rather the Phillies make the decision than us just continue to say that stuff.
I feel
like if Trey Turner's bad at second base, then it's like, all right, just gonna have to deal with it. But we don't know that. He could go to second base and be much more comfortable.
I guess he's played a lot more shortstop.
You got a little. Hey, dude, I think part of it. You said yips. It could be yips. Maybe a change is good. I don't know. And I'm not saying move him to the outfield because there's people that say he should play outfield. I don't think he should. I don't think he can. I think he's an infielder, especially at this stage of his career. But I'd rather try it at second base than just continue to watch this. Because I want him to just continue to hit the baseball because I will value his bat more than his glove. But if I could put him somewhere else, then I win.
Yeah,
there's both worlds.
There are 3 paths here. People don't see the middle path very often. There's what the Phillies should not do, what the Phillies should do, and then the third path that you miss right in the middle is what they're going to do. They're not moving him.
Yeah, and I think that's stupid. I think it's dumb to say we're doing whatever it takes to win and then actually not try to see whatever it takes to win. That's just me. 610-632-0975. Did last night remind you that this Phillies team can compete? And how do you personally view Trey Turner? Connor, I'll ask you that question because you're much more lighthearted than I am, and then we'll get to some updates on LeBron James here. Like, I look at Trey Turner ultimately as the disappointing contract, not the bust. Like, I guess it's the dad disappointment thing. Like, I'm disappointed in you, and that hits hard. I don't think he stinks. He won the freaking batting title last year. He had a very good season in 2024. I still think that the bat, when hot, is really, really good, and him at the top of the order really stretches out this lineup if he's getting on base. But I also realize that he's got his own issues right now, whether it's mechanics or mentally. I don't know what it is. You hope that he gets hot. Hopefully this is a hot streak for like a month and not just 4 games. How do you view Trey Turner?
I think he's a really, really talented baseball player, like an elite-level talent that mentally is not there enough. And when I say mentally is not there enough, you might say, oh, well, won the World Series in Washington as part of that team. Went and played for the Dodgers. He's been in big spots before. Look at what he did in those postseasons. I think he's a guy, and then that gets doubled. Being a part of the Dodgers or being a young player on a World Series winning Nationals team that was carried by like Soto and Rendon at that time, now you get the major contract. You come to a city like Philadelphia where the scrutiny is intense. You start off on a bad foot. I think he's felt like he's behind the 8 ball since then. And I think that's where the fielding issues come from. Not that he's ever going to be elite, but
brother, this city gave him a standing ovation. Not like I get the Philly thing. Trust me. Anytime I'm up in Bristol, Philly, look out. Like I get it. But like this guy got a standing ovation. This entire city had his back.
What does that do? All right, what does that do? I'm saying I don't believe that he's the type of player that's just inherently cut out for this city. It's not all the fan base. I think it's the pressure of you could say New York if he was playing for the Mets or the Yankees. Like, I just don't think he's that guy. And some dudes are really talented and are not that guy. And that doesn't mean you can't necessarily win with them, but I think that's always been the drawback in this town of Trey Turner.
Yeah, I got you. It's like, we've talked about Jalen Hurts. Like, Jalen Hurts, I will continue to say, is not the most talented quarterback in the National Football League, but he handles us well.
Yeah, he's built for this.
Like, I get it. Like, I don't know. I don't think the bright lights of Philadelphia is why he can't field a baseball to his left. I'm just saying.
Listen to what he says when he struggles, man. He's in his head way too much, and this is not a place where it's good to be in your head too much.
But you know what? Sometimes ground balls are just natural instincts. You play baseball.
Right. I feel
it doesn't matter what level you played at. Like, honestly, this isn't a Sunday league. Doesn't matter what level you play at. You either can field the baseball or you can't.
Yeah, so when do you get in trouble? When you start thinking too much about it. And Trey Turner's a thinker. You know what's honestly in this town? And I don't mean this in like a totally bad way, but this is as blatantly as I could put it. I think we like stupid athletes sometimes. I think we like guys who just go out and will run through a wall for you and don't really think too much and just play the damn game and do it in a hard-nosed way. And Trey Turner's not that type of guy. I'm not saying he's too smart for Philadelphia because that's how that's going to come off, but I'm trying to figure out how exactly to word what I think the issue is, because it's not the talent level. Anyone who tells you he's not good is wrong. But he hasn't been good like for a long enough stretch here, and that's a problem.
All right, we'll check the text line coming in a little bit. But LeBron James did not sign yesterday, despite Patrick Beverley telling everybody that his sources were telling him a decision was going to make. He was going to make a decision yesterday, LeBron. I texted you yesterday. I was like, it's Pat Bev, man. We might, but it's Pat Bev, man. Unbelievable. Everybody bought into it. Oh, Pat Bev, he knows. Rich Paul yesterday on the Game Over podcast with Max Kellerman was once again asked about the timeline. Remember, Adam Silver not that long ago said, hey, I need LeBron James to make a decision because we need to set out our schedule. We need to put out our national broadcast. We need to do the Christmas Day schedule. We need to do all this stuff. We need to get LeBron James out there. So LeBron needs to sign. Rich Paul says, not so fast.
Like I said, it's still his choice. So if he doesn't really know, can't rush it.
So right now the league is aware of this, that he's not there yet.
And we're not going to be rushed. It doesn't matter. I don't want to sit here and sound like this. I'll just say we're not going to be rushed. It is his choice to make. And when he makes the choice, he's making it. Here's the other thing. There's been several people to call and say, hey, Rich, is there anything more we should be doing, we could be doing? And my answer is no. We don't need you to go above and beyond about anything. We understand it. It's clear. And again, there's roster spots that's not filled. If they want to fill their roster spots, we're not saying don't fill your roster spots.
So it makes it seem like it's not happening anytime soon. And there were some reporters that were saying, hey, this could bleed into August. And I, for the life of me, I don't see that. Like, I feel like we're at that point where he's going to make a decision at any moment. Maybe we got to stop waiting for it, and it's just going to happen, right? Like, doesn't that happen in life?
It's I'm tired of waiting for toaster.
Yeah, or the watch pot never boils.
Yeah, exactly.
Never wait for a good thing to come for you. Like, you just got to keep doing your life, and things will go out. Life is a balancing act. All that stuff, right? Like, I think we just need to stop wondering what LeBron James is going to do. Now, we can't. It's our job, right? We got to react to it, but instead of refreshing Twitter or every time your phone vibrates, you check to see if it's a shams bomb, I think you have to just stop doing that, and then it will actually happen. Now, of course, Rich Paul continues, and I find this comical because I kind of believe what they're saying, but at the same time, do we know LeBron James at this point? This was Rich Paul saying, we're not trying to make this a big deal.
We don't need what people are trying to perceive to put out there on all these other shows, and you got the older guys saying what they think. I'll say it again. None of these people know anything. Nobody knows nothing. And I say that respectfully because we haven't made it to where anybody knows anything. So I think it's important for people to understand we're not making this about attention and a spectacle. It's not about a decision or anything like that. He has a choice to make. He has a business choice to make. We're not going to sit here and decide or allow someone else to decide when he makes that decision or that choice. It's a business choice that he's making. And I think as an athlete, why is it that an athlete has to rush his choice?
Athlete doesn't have to rush his choice. Don't tell me you're not doing this for attention. I mean, LeBron James literally was at Fanatics Fest. Like, come on. And look, I'm okay with it. I've said it here. I said it at ESPN. I'll say it over and over again. He's earned it. LeBron James can do whatever the hell he wants. He can say, you know what, screw it. Sacramento it is. And I'll go, all right, I don't know. Go ahead, explain why. Let me hear it. LeBron can do whatever he wants. But we want to revisit something that we talked about last week that we didn't really get to expand on a little bit because I got called stupid immediately. If LeBron James does not sign here, what is your emotional reaction? Because I would be angry, especially because I know what he's going to say. He's going to, if he signs with Cleveland or sign with Miami or sign with Golden State, Minnesota, I could actually see them have a chance to win, but I don't think he's going to Minnesota. But if he signs with any of these other teams and says, I signed here to try to win one more championship, I think he's lying. I think why he would sign with Golden State is to play with Steph, and that's fine. Be honest about it. Go for it. I think if he says, I'm signing with Cleveland, it's about ending his career in Cleveland or ending his career in Miami. Go for it. I respect it. But I know that's not what he's going to say. He's going to say, this is the best decision for me and my family, and I know that we can win a championship here. The best place for you to win a championship is Philadelphia. This is all Sixers bias aside. It's just basketball sense. It makes sense. I will get angry if LeBron James does not sign here and talks about winning a championship elsewhere because it's a lie. Don't lie to me, man. I'll be angry. I've reached that point where it just makes so much sense. And the fact that the Sixers are still being mentioned in every report from Shams Charania, again yesterday, Dave McMenamin, again yesterday, about the Sixers being a potential landing spot for LeBron James. That's because in his mind, he's still saying, I can win a championship there. The other ones are some sort of emotional attachment. The Sixers are being mentioned because of the chance to win a championship. And if he doesn't do that and still says he's trying to win one more, he's lying, and I don't like liars. So if LeBron doesn't sign here, what is your reaction? Now, I saw a comment on YouTube from your boy 2676. I don't even want this chump anymore. He's such a diva. I'm over it by the time you get him. If you do get them on your team, you're sick to your stomach. We don't need him. We can win without him. The Sixers could win without him. But I also know that with LeBron James, your chances increase. And as a gambling man, I always want the odds on my side, man. What would your emotional reaction be if LeBron James signed elsewhere and not with Philadelphia? 610-632-0975. We hear from you coming up next. Also, I got to know if we're keeping the same energy. A lot of people were upset with the Phillies yesterday. They win today. Are we in flip-flop mode right now, or are we keeping the same energy? We'll find out next. It's Kincade Salciunas, Johnny out here on 97.5, The Fanatic. All right, let's be honest. Shopping for an engagement ring can feel like you're shopping for a used car. You walk in, you're not really sure who you can trust. There's a ton of pressure, and you're probably left wondering if you're actually getting what you paid for. Like, is this a good deal, or did I just get ripped off? Did I just fall for a good sales pitch? This is why when you shop for jewelry, you go to the place that I absolutely trust, the place that I've made multiple purchases at, and that's Family and Company Jewelers, Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey. They're changing the way that people buy jewelry by making it simple, by making it honest, by making it pressure-free. Those things all hit home to me because I don't like difficult things to deal with. I don't like pressure. I like honesty. I just told you, if LeBron signs elsewhere and says, I'm trying to win a championship in Cleveland, he's lying to me. I don't like dishonesty. I like Family Company Jewelers because they do everything for you, for it to be the best jewelry buying process. There's no sales commissions, no upselling, no games, just real transparent pricing. In fact, when you go to Family Company Jewelers, you go to the showroom, every piece of jewelry that you can see has a price point next to it. So you don't have to go up to somebody and say, hey, how much does this cost? And they look you up and down and they go, I can get, sucker. I can get a lot out of you. No, the price points are right there. They're family-owned, family-run, and they're focused on doing right by every customer who walks through the door. So stop by their showroom in Route 70, Marlton, New Jersey. You can shop anytime, FamilyJewelers.com. Go there for the ideas, and then go in person for the experience because they're wonderful. That's Family Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
The Phillies. coming your way now.
Yes, you can watch the show on YouTube. Every once in a while, I obviously scan the YouTube chat, but every once in a while I'll be like, all right, how do I look this morning? And when I clicked onto the video feed, I was taking a sip of my coffee, and it was one of the ugliest things I could have possibly watched.
It happens. We all have bad visuals.
It was a bad look. It was a bad look, and now I'm contemplating a lot of things. Like,
people don't realize 4 hours on camera, you're going to get some bad looks.
Yeah.
It just happens.
I'm just wondering if my wife still finds me attractive. Is all I'm wondering.
You just went on vacation with her to a nice resort. You're fine.
That was a bad look for me. All right, I checked the poll today already, and so far I'm right, Connor.
Yeah, I noticed.
I mean this in all sincerity. I love this city. We are, I don't want to say flip-floppers in a negative way, but like one moment can set us one way or another. All right? And so yesterday, during the show, we're talking about the Phillies, who dropped 2 of 3 to the Mets. And I said at one point, look, I still think they win this division. You chuckled at me. I was reading some of the comments. Andrew, I love your optimism, even though I'm like the most negative guy here when it comes to the Phillies. I just still think they win the division. And people hated the team, the stuff they were saying about the Phillies yesterday. And they win one game. And so I asked the question, was last night a reminder of how good the Phillies could be, right? Like, they did, even though I hated what they were saying last year, they did compete with the Dodgers in the playoffs. Like, they were close to winning some of those games. The only thing that I then go the next step further that a lot of people seem to stop at is the reason why they lost is the same reasons why they lose, right? The bullpen could not keep a lead. The bats went cold. And you relied on your starting pitching just way too much again. Like, that's why they lost. Whether it was the Dodgers, the Mets the previous year, the Diamondbacks the year before that, they lost the same way. I don't care about the opponent. They keep losing the same way. That's why it's up to Dave Dombrowski to find the right players for that not to happen with. So, was last night a reminder of how good the Phillies team could be? You thought that it would be 60% no, I won't be fooled. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, what are the results so far? Brought to us by Dr. Ramadan Appel and the team at Iron Mountain Men's Health. The polls are always strong here on Kincade Salciunas.
70% of responders are saying, yes, this team could be dangerous. 30% are saying, no, I won't be fooled.
I told you. I told you, one game. One game is all. And look, if they lose tonight and we do the exact same poll, and let's say we change the wording tomorrow to, was yesterday a reminder that the Phillies aren't that good? And it'll be 70-30. It's just the way that it goes, man. That's how this city acts. That's how sports fans act. Like, that's not a Philadelphia. But we are just so crazy in a good way. I say with love. Like, I love how insane we are. I am like you. I have my emotional swings. Trey Turner had a great game offensively yesterday, and yet I'm still here complaining about his defense. Like, it's natural fandom this way. There are things that you ignore. There are things that you can't ignore. I think sometimes we ignore too much. But the Phillies last night reminded you, I will believe it, and it seems like 70% of our audience believes it, that they are still a good baseball team. All right, what do we have on the Davis Honda text line? You can feel the Davis difference. Check them out in Burlington. Yesterday was a lot of the Phillies suck texts. What do we got today?
Yeah, this texter checks in. I think it's a great place to start. For the question on if this Phillies team, you got a reminder last night that they can still be dangerous. This texter says, no, one game against Ed Sheeran does not change anything. The offense goes cold more games than not. You trust nobody out of the bullpen besides Duran.
Yeah, so he's been watching the entire season. And that's good. Like, I appreciate that text because you're right. This person watched the entire season. But to also say, like, I'm guessing he doesn't think that they're dangerous. They are.
The answer was no there.
They are. All right, again, we read you the tweet from Scott Lauber yesterday, and we can update the totals on you. Yesterday, we read the tweet from Scott Lauber, who covers the Phillies for the Inquirer, that when Sanchez, Wheeler, and Luzardo start a game, the Phillies are 41-14. In all other games, they're 14-30. This past series, where they dropped 2 of 3 against the Mets, they only had one win. And the one win included one of those 3 pitchers. The 2 losses was Aaron Nola and Alan Rangel. Last night, Christopher Sanchez pitched. So we can now update that to 42-14. When Sanchez, Wheeler, or Luzardo start, the Philadelphia Phillies are 42-14. Is that not a dangerous record?
Yeah.
So
It
they
is.
are dangerous. It's just, I get it. If you've watched the team night in and night out, I agree with the texter. The texter's not wrong. But to say that they're like completely not dangerous, they have no chance of winning, I think that's wrong. They absolutely have a chance if they get hot at the right time. I hate that we have to say it, but it is true. And that's why you can't just give up on this team because they dropped 2 of 3 against the Mets and because Trey Turner can't play shortstop.
Yeah, but I told you before the series, like, I'm not going to take very much out of this at all. It doesn't mean you can't be excited. They had 5 home runs last night. That's a season high for them. That's really great to see. But you do that, and you have your ace on the mound, and you're not facing anywhere near the Dodgers' ace, and you win by 3 runs after scoring 10. I just, I didn't feel
13 days until Chase Schugert's not pitching the 8th inning. 13 days until you acquire somebody at the deadline.
You say that.
For a bullpen. They'll get a bullpen arm. It's the right-handed bat thing, I think, is dead. Like,
Right.
I don't think there's some right-handed bat that's going to change the way you look at this lineup. But I think, and I've been saying it for months now, if they add a legitimate bullpen arm, now we're feeling a lot more comfortable because coming into the season, that was one of the things we were hanging on to. And we've only seen it from one guy consistently. All right, you can continue to climb in, 610-632-0975. How do you view Trey Turner is another topic I want to hear answers from because there were a lot of people that came to his defense over the weekend when a video dropped from the Fanatic Twitter account where it was critical of Trey Turner. There's a lot of people defending him. He had a great game offensively yesterday, had a horrible day defensively. Ignore the fact that he was only tagged for 1 error. He had 3 errors yesterday. He sucks in the field. But if the bat can come back to life, I will deal with it. The simple solution is to just try it at second base. And if LeBron James doesn't sign here, what is your emotional reaction? Andrew Ellis on our YouTube chat says he won't care, regardless. I will be angry if he signs elsewhere and says he's trying to win a championship. I want to hear what your emotional reaction would be if LeBron signed elsewhere. Now, speaking of LeBron, you know, we all have that person in our life where they may not say much, but when they do, you listen, and you're like, oh, if he's saying it, there's something there. We may have gotten that on LeBron Watch last night. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A roller coaster of a game. I'm Connor Thomas, and that's what Trey Turner had last night in the Phillies' 10-7 win over the Dodgers at the bank. He had multiple fielding miscues at shortstop as his issues in the field continued, and he also went 3 for 5 at the dish with 2 homers, 5 RBIs. Don Mattingly talked after the game about what to make of Trey Turner's year so far and the performance last night.
Trey's our guy. Trey works every day. So it's not like Trey's out there, doesn't care about defense. He's working every day, all that type of stuff. So as long as Trey works, we ride with Trey.
There were also some milestones in the game. Turner hit his 200th career homer. Bryce Harper hit his 200th as a Philly, and the Phils' 5 homers. Brandon Marsh and Derek Hill also went yard. Were their most in a game so far this season. Game 2 is tonight against the Dodgers, 6:40 p.m. Zach Wheeler on the mound against Eric Lauer. LeBron Watch continues, as his agent Rich Paul said yesterday that the decision is not going to be rushed. We'll keep you updated as more news comes out. The Eagles are officially 1 week out from reporting to training camp, and the Union will resume their season after their World Cup break tomorrow night. Amy Fadul will join us from the 8 o'clock hour until the end of the show. Zach Berman of The Athletic joins us coming up at 9:05. This update is brought to you by Citadel Credit Union. From small moments to life's big changes, you deserve someone you can count on. Citadel, love where you bank. I'm Connor Thomas on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
newscast.
It is a Tuesday morning here on Kincade Salciunas. Johnny on vacation this week. He'll be back next week for his final week. He sent me a photo from the Wyndham Grand Hotel yesterday, man. Jealous. Beautiful hotel in Clearwater Beach. He's down in Clearwater, Florida with his wife. It's their anniversary celebration. Their anniversary was 2 weeks ago, but, you know, a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. They got together this week, and they're enjoying it. So happy belated anniversary to John and Christina. And we are talking plenty of Phillies. And don't forget, it is a Tuesday with Amy. Amy Fadul will be in studio today from 8 to 10. And we will speak with Zach Berman coming up at 9:05. Which I'm very excited about. Because Nick Sirianni may have lost his fastball.
Or he just upped his fastball like 5 miles an hour.
I don't know, man.
Hey, listen, we questioned.
We all fertilize.
Yeah, but that was natural. We'll talk about it more later on in the show, but Nick Sirianni, it's dangerous. He has discovered ChatGPT.
And this is your fault. Because just yesterday, you went to the side of AI.
I did, you're right. Well, because they're finding scrolls from Mount Vesuvius, man.
Hey, you can't be pointing the finger if you already made the flip.
That's a big deal. I'm not trying to motivate anybody with it.
I felt motivated.
We'll talk to Zach Berman about his article on Nick Sirianni's usage of ChatGPT later on the show. And also, later this hour, all right, 7:30, I'm letting you guys know now, we're going to have what I don't even believe is a debate, but it will be discussed. We have a new Phillies Karen. We have a new home run ball fiasco. This time it happened in Philadelphia and not in Miami, where the woman that was just so despicable that did it last year could run and hide. This is in our land, man. This is in our area. He's out there somewhere wandering. Hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your baseballs. This guy's out there and he's hunting. All right, we'll talk about that coming up at 7:30. But Phillies, our topics today are whether or not last night's game was a reminder to you that this team can be dangerous. And I want to know from you how you view Trey Turner, because he doesn't suck. He's also not what you paid for. And that's why last week's topic was whether or not he's one of the most disappointing contracts, because you have seen what you paid for. You also have seen the complete opposite of that. And I just want to know how people view Trey Turner, because a lot of people came to his defense where I don't understand why we're defending him. If somebody says his entire tenure in Philadelphia has been a disaster, then I get it. If somebody's constantly ripping Trey Turner, then I get it. Because Trey Turner literally hit over 300 last year. Batting title or not, he hit over 300 last year. He had a very good season 2 years ago. Year one sucked, and I think that put a stain on his tenure in Philadelphia, that we only think of year one, and because this year hasn't been good, we only couple those two and we forget about the 2 years in the middle. But I want to know how you view him. I have not gotten what I expected. That's my outlook on it. All right. When it comes to Trey Turner, I've not gotten what I looked for. I've seen it happen, but the totality of the contract, and once more, I'll say it again, the reason why we're having this right-handed bat conversation year in and year out is because of him. If he is who you saw last night or who you've seen over the last 4 games, and I'm not just talking about home runs, I'm just talking about getting on base, being a factor offensively, then we're having a different conversation. I have a crazy, crazy stat for you that just sort of tells the story of who this Phillies team is and who Trey Turner is. And this goes the same with Schwarber and Harper. I'll save the other two for later on in the show, Connor. I didn't even tell you where I was going at with this. Do you want to know what Trey Turner's splits are this season in wins versus losses?
Oh, I can imagine, but I'd love to hear it.
So last night they win, and last night he had a great game. This season, in games that they're winning, he's batting .291 with an on-base of .323. Still not great, but .291, .323, slugging of .439. Well, no, on base is usually higher.
Well, yeah, sure. But
no, the batting average, but yes. Modern baseball average, yes. On base, no. .291, .323, .439 slugs, .762 OPS, 8 home runs, 31 ribbies, 11 stolen bases, only caught stealing twice, 11 doubles. They're not just all singles, 11 doubles, 8 home runs. In losses, he's batting .182. .258 on base. Strikes out much more than he gets on base. Less pop, less extra base hits. Like, he is I said this to you a couple weeks ago. When he goes, they win. Because that means he's getting on base for Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper, who are the guys that are going to knock in the runs. When Trey Turner's not getting on base, they're losing. It's very clear.
Yeah, here's the problem with the premise. It's a fair stat. I think people have seen it. Your gut feel would probably tell you that this year and in his time. But last year, he won the batting title. The year before, he batted, .295. He had 2 great seasons in a row. They ended in first-round exits from the postseason.
Yeah.
Because the regular season is not just all it takes. And he hasn't been good in the postseason even when he's had the good years.
Right.
Which goes back to our original discussion of the how do you view this Phillies team, where you're reminded they can be dangerous. It's such a weird conversation with this team because they're so good in so many aspects.
Yeah.
And the results aren't there.
Guys, they're a good baseball team. Are they a elite baseball team? No. Do I think they're winning the World Series? No. Do I think they can get to the playoffs and get hot? And one of our answers for the poll is no, I won't be fooled. Can they fool the league and win a playoff series or two? They could. They could. Sanchez, Wheeler, Luzardo, 42-14 this season in games where they start. They absolutely can fool a couple teams in a playoff series. It's a 5-game series. Those 3 guys are the ones that are pitching. 7-game series. You'll get one game. You'll piecemeal the other one. Those guys win you baseball games.
That opens up such another part of this conversation that's so interesting, though, because obviously this is a Philadelphia sports talk show. We're talking to Philadelphia fans. You say fool the rest of the league, fool other teams. They're not. The rest of the league looks at them as a dangerous team.
Yeah.
National reporters will tell you to their blue in the face, this is one of the better teams in baseball.
I heard it last night, the ESPN overnight, when I was driving in. It was like 2 top teams in Major League Baseball square off, Dodgers and Phillies. And I laugh because I go, one top team, the top team, versus a playoff team. And there are tiers. Like, there are levels to this. But you're right. The national media will still look at this roster up and down, ignore the ages, ignore how the playoffs have ended, ignore a lot of the shortcomings of this roster, and say they're a dangerous team. And you know what? They're not wrong. And so was last night that reminder for you, 610-632-0975. And how do you personally view Trey Turner? What do we have on the Davis Honda text line? And then we're going to talk about LeBron James, because somebody who I really respect, especially in the sport of basketball, had some interesting things to say yesterday on the Fanatic that we'll play for you. But what do we have on the text line?
Dan from Warminster checks in on how he views Trey Turner, and he says, can we give Turner one of those big blue gloves from the home run derby? We do have one of those somewhere around the studios.
Yeah, Sean Brace brought one in. It's funny. During the break, well, it's not funny because it was painful. NBC Sports Philadelphia posted the Don Mattingly clip that you played earlier about how we believe in Trey, and Trey's our guy, and Trey's our shortstop. And they showed the 3 botched plays. For the life of me, I don't know how you don't call them errors. Like, do I have to be? We're not trying to save Trey Turner. Trey Turner has made $300 million with the Phillies, and it will make more and more money as the years go on. Trey Turner's fine. We don't have to worry about Trey Turner. We don't have to be careful with Trey Turner. He made 3 errors yesterday.
That's just baseball, though. That's not a Philadelphia protecting their guy.
I know. And you know what? In 3 days, it'll get readjusted. He will get one more error. The last one, the dribbler, tough play, they'll say, it's not an error, tough play. But the second one that he just completely missed going up the middle, like, he made 3 bad plays yesterday. He'll probably get an updated play. One of them will be an error, and he'll have 16 on the season, which will lead all of Major League Baseball.
I mean, he wore a one-hopper to the shin to the point where he didn't have to interview after the game. They had to ask him if he's all right.
Yeah, no, he's not good at fielding. As one of our comments, Yo Dude on YouTube says, Turner is very lucky at the offensive game yesterday. Otherwise, he'd be coming in for some serious hot water, and he would be, because he can't play shortstop anymore. The Phillies need to be real with themselves and stop worrying about feelings or emotions or ego or anything. You just have to slide him over to second base and try it. I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm not saying this is the solution. You just got to try it, man. All right, yesterday on Middays with Marks, Bob Cooney, a man who I truly respect in this industry and, of course, in the world of basketball, doing great things, covering the Sixers and all sports for On Patterson. And Bob was on Middays with Marks yesterday with Ray and Sean, and they sort of got his updated feel on LeBron James. We're kind of doing the A.J. Brown conversation now with LeBron James. where it's, hey, what is the percentage chance of A.J. Brown being traded? And at some point, almost everybody said 100% that covered the team. We've not reached that point with LeBron and the Sixers, but we're seeing people report differently, it seems like, every single day. Like, hey, you know what? Now we're hearing the Heat more. Now we're hearing the Warriors more. And now we're hearing the Cavs more. Well, Bob Cooney's hearing the Sixers more. Bob just last week was on with the Midday show and talked about, I'll give him a 20% chance. 20% chance Sixers land LeBron James. This was him yesterday.
I'm getting a strong feeling he's coming here. I really am. Why is a 42-year-old man going out there and throwing out trust the process and 76 years and all these things that are kind of little hints? Like, what are you doing? Unless he has a hatred for the Sixers, which many around media think that players and executives have hatred for the Sixers for the process and all. Why would you go around teasing stuff like that as a 42-year-old, 24-year NBA veteran who's the league's all-time leading scorer? Why? So you can go to Miami and say, Sixers, look what I did to you. I teased you. I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. And why are insiders kind of hinting at it now? And now Windhorst comes out and says something like, yeah, it might be an off team, a team that you really didn't expect. Why? Why are these little things, why are these little fires starting? I don't know, but over the last couple of days, I started thinking, you know what? He's putting it out there. I think he might be coming to the Sixers. I really do. I said to you guys, I think a couple of weeks ago, you asked me a percentage, and I said 15 to 20%. I'm up in that now. I think it's 50-50 at least. Yeah, I'm really leaning towards him. And there's no hope on my part. It'll be great content. It'll be great for me to write about the cover. It'll be great for you guys to talk about on the radio. I think it'll be great for the Sixers. I think he's a perfect fit for this team and fills so many needs with just one player.
So the reason why I'm going to take a lot from Bob Cooney there is we know Bob. If you've listened to the Fanatic over the years, not only as him being a guest pre- and post-tenure as a host on the Fanatic, his also tenure as a host of the Fanatic, you guys know Bob. There are certain things about basketball that Bob hates, and I'm not talking about the game. It's the trade machine. It's the trade talk. There's a lot of things about basketball that Bob doesn't find, similar enjoyment in that other people might. Bob Cooney takes his job very seriously, and if Bob Cooney is saying, hey, look, 15 to 20% last time, I'm now saying 50-50, that means something to me. Who knows if it means something to you or to you, Connor, but that means something to me that Bob Cooney believes is now 50-50 from what he has heard, from what other people are saying. Now, the one thing I'll push back on Bobby is when he does the whole, why would he say this stuff about the Sixers and then go to Miami? Just be like, haha, gotcha. Yes. That's literally why. Like, not to be a gotcha to the Sixers, but when Rich Paul says we're not doing this to make this a show, it is because it's a show. It's because they know that we're all sitting here, bated breath, waiting for LeBron James to make a decision. So that would be why, because if he throws out some crumbs, here we are talking about him in Philadelphia. He could throw out a crumb in Cleveland. They're going to talk about it in Cleveland. They're going to talk about it in Miami. They're going to talk about, Golden State, Bay Area. Like, we're all going to talk about every little thing. I said to you in the beginning, when the Sixers were first mentioned, Connor, I said that I will purposely read into everything because I just want to dream, man. I just want to have a good time. So I'm going to read into everything. So there is reasons why LeBron does this stuff. But as Bob said it, from a basketball standpoint, he fits perfectly here. And if you've been listening to the things, now I'm talking here, if you've been listening to the things that the people closest to him have been saying that he wants, there's winning a championship. I will stand by it. Philadelphia is the number one team for his chances to win a championship, more so than Miami and Cleveland. There's wanting to be loved and appreciated, which is what Dave McMenamin said on this show 2 Fridays ago. You know he'd get that here. Like, I know there's guys like 215J Philly that don't want him here. Majority of Philadelphia would go nuts if LeBron James signed here. We talked about it just yesterday. Is LeBron James an automatic go to the store, buy a jersey of? You said we had a guy that hasn't been to a game in 5 years. He'd buy season tickets if LeBron signed here. So there's another check for the Sixers. Love and appreciation, you'll get that here. One of the talking points is he doesn't want to have to factor in as being the guy. Hello? You're like a point forward here pretty much. You're the ball handler setting up the offense. You let everybody else go to work. You still have your moments. You can load manage here better than really any other team. Now, there's one thing that Dave McMenamin said yesterday on ESPN as everybody is trying to figure out what the hell LeBron James is doing. Yesterday, Dave talked about the best player that LeBron James could join, and this is what he said.
What we did learn is that the end is not near. He made it clear that the swan song is not upon us.
Okay.
If he plays next year, that's not the farewell tour. He compared himself to Bruce Springsteen and the Rolling Stones as artists who still tour 50, 60 years since they first hit the charts with their records. And so that's one thing we learned in terms of what team he's going to play for. He continued to keep it close to the vest. He had some fun with it. He said, trust the process. The crowd went nuts on Friday. On Thursday, he said, I hear Warriors, I hear Philly, I hear Miami from people yelling it out from the crowd. He's not let anything. What he did do was echo what he said after Game 4 in the OKC series. It's like, I want to be in a competitive environment where I wake up every day and I want to pour myself into the work, and we're all working towards a common goal.
And
that remains the same thing. If you think of all the teams, or the finalists, right, of all the players on all those teams, who would be the best single teammate that LeBron could team up with right now? And you'd probably say Giannis, 31 years old, 2-time MVP, and plays both ends. And obviously he's had some injury stuff, and Steph is an all-time great, but Steph's 5 years older than Giannis is.
Sure.
So he doesn't even mention a Sixer, right? He mentions specifically Giannis and Steph. And the Steph thing, we get it. It's for like the let me have fun at the end of my career. And I get it if he's honest about that. But the point about Giannis, you heard Dave even say it, and I know that there's some injury factor there. That's a legitimate factor. And I know that we have that here, but we have to get past the idea that this is Joel Embiid's team. Like, if LeBron signed with the Sixers, Joel Embiid would be a part of it, but it's going to mainly be Maxey and Jaylen Brown. That's going to be mainly the reason why he would come here. So if Dave McMenamin's saying, yeah, Giannis would be the best player, but, man, those injuries are a factor, then don't run that risk if you're LeBron James.
Yeah, but what does history tell you about guys LeBron has played with, right? Look at L.A., his last stop. He wanted to be paired with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has been an injury-prone guy his whole career.
Yeah, what happened?
They won.
Yeah, and then what happened? He shipped his ass out of town.
Do you think he cares about that, or do you think he says, I won a championship there? Like, there is an ego here where he still looks at a Miami or a Cleveland or a Golden State with Steph and says, I'm LeBron, I can win wherever.
And he can. But his best chance for everything that they're talking about, everything that LeBron wants, all comes back to here. All right, what do we have on the Davis Honda text line? Field the Davis difference. Check him out in Burlington.
Yeah, we have a bunch of people checking in on the Phillies conversation. Mike from Turnersville has a potential solution to the Trey Turner defensive issues. He says move Turner to the outfield, move Stott to shortstop, and acquire Luis Arraez to play second base. Arraez has played well, and he gives you a 300-hitter professional bat to add to the lineup. I know he's a left-handed bat, but a quality bat who's on an expiring contract.
So I don't see the world where Trey Turner plays outfield. I never have. That's been a thing for the last 2 years people have been trying to do. I think the simple thing right now is to slide him and Stott one spot over. You put Turner at second. You put Bryson Stott at short. There's also the world where one day, hear me out, he plays third. There's the world because you don't have to cover as much ground if you're playing third base. And you know what? You can't think at third base. Here we are talking about the mental side of things of the sport of baseball. Oh, he's thinking too much. You play third base, there's no time to think. It's the hot corner, right? Now, you can't do that because right now that position's being blocked by a guy that can't hit with Alec Boehm. So maybe that's a position that Trey Turner can play eventually. I never see him playing the outfield. I just won't. Why would you do that? Because he's fast?
Well, it's not even that. It's just like it's a bigger step. They won't take the little step of switching him in an infield position. So now we're going to do outfield?
Yeah. I get what the Texas thing. He's trying to. It's kind of like what we did with Pete Alonso. Like, all right, would you move Harper to the outfield so that Alonso can come here? He wants a rise. So if you put a rise at second base, you move Turner to the outfield. Like we're trying to do a bunch of things. It's kind of like an Eagles thing. How many times did we do when Jason Peters was toward the end? Should you move Lane Johnson to left tackle? All right, you move him to left tackle. He might still be really good, but we don't know if he's going to be as elite as he is at right tackle. Now you're impacting two positions because he might not be as good of a left tackle as he is a right tackle. Now you have to replace right tackle. We're kind of doing that right now with this. Well, if you move him here and you move that guy there and you move that guy there, you might be impacting more than one position negatively.
The Harper thing, yeah. I don't think Trey's going to be any worse at any position than he is right now at shortstop. Like, all due respect to him, unless you put him behind the dish and he's catching,
Yeah, like that's the thing. If you put him at second base, Don, I'm talking to you, Don. Like if you put Trey Turner at second base, do you think he will miss every ball? Because he's already pretty close to that at shortstop. So is he just going to be so bad at second base that you might as well play with 8 guys in the field? Is that what you're telling me? You got to give it a shot. It's well and good that you're saying, hey, he's our guy and we have his back. That's fine. You could still have his back by putting him in the lineup. You did have his back when he was going 0 for 20 and putting him in the lineup. Having his back doesn't mean continuously putting him out there to fail. And as a shortstop, that's what you're doing. Not as a baseball player, but as a shortstop. You might as well give it a shot at second base. And to just ignore it and say, no, we don't want to do that, I think that's foolish. You got to give it a shot. That's all I'm asking. I'll check the text line more coming up next. But also, I can't believe in back-to-back years we're having this discussion. It's one thing when a ball is hit into the outfield and there's a bit of a scrum for it, and then somebody just gives in and goes, fine, you take it. Like, that happens. But back-to-back years, we had Phillies fans have a meltdown because they didn't get the ball. I can't believe it. We'll get into that coming up next. Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Bad in the field, great at the plate. I'm Connor Thomas, and that essentially sums up Trey Turner's last night in the Phillies win over the Dodgers, a 10-7 final in South Philadelphia. He had multiple fielding miscues at shortstop. His issues in the field have continued, but he also went 3 for 5 at the dish for 2 homers. It was a roller coaster, and Trey Turner talked about it afterwards.
Just ridiculous game in general by me, which I was happy we got the win, but just roller coaster, up, down, up, down. But, when you do things like that or have games like that, sometimes you just got to laugh about it.
There are also some milestone moments in the win for the Phils. Trey Turner's second home run was his 200th career homer. Bryce Harper hit his 200th as a Philly. And the Phils hit 5 homers with Brandon Marsh and Derek Hill also going yard. That's their most in a game so far this season. Game 2 against the Dodgers is tonight at 6:40 p.m. Zach Wheeler faces Eric Lauer. LeBron watch continues. His agent Rich Paul saying yesterday the decision is not going to be rushed. Not by Adam Silver, not by the league, not by teams, not by anybody. So we got plenty of time to keep you updated as more news comes out. The Eagles are officially 1 week out from reporting to training camp, and the Union will resume their season after the World Cup break tomorrow night. Amy Padul joins us from the 8 o'clock hour till the end of the show. Zach Berman of The Athletic checks in at 9:05 on the latest on the Eagles. This update is brought to you by the Makeup Group. They support contractors with one of the largest PVF inventories from pipe, valve, and fittings to trusted brands. Count on the Makeup Group to help you stay on schedule. Visit makeupgroup.com today. I'm Connor Thomas on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic.
You tell it like it is, and so do we. Middays with Marks, with John Marks, Sean Brace, and Ray Dunn.
Every weekday from 10 a.m. to
favorite casino games, there's always another way to win on the BetParx online casino and sportsbook. Got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, I need your help today to get me in touch with one of two people. If we can do both, that'd be great. But I need to get in touch with at least one of two people that were involved in a moment last night in the Phillies game that is reminiscent of the Phillies Karen moment that we had last year. Now, I think we can find said people because nobody could find this Phillies Karen person. She probably lives down there and lives in Florida. Remember, it happened in Miami at the Marlins Stadium. If you guys don't remember, a guy caught a home run ball that was kind of rolling around on the floor. He picked it up, gave it to his kid, and this woman walked over to him and, like, grabbed his arm and started yelling at them that it was her baseball. And it got so bad that the guy, which I would never have done this, by the way. I will say shame on the dad for it. Took the ball back from the kid and gave it to the woman. I would never have done that. That's Coop's ball. That is Coop's ball. Done. There is no debate here. I would leave the building before I would give the lady the baseball. But that was last year. History repeats itself sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, when Trey Turner hit the home run, one of his two home runs to left field, not the one that hit the pole, but the one, it was Turner's home run, right? Or was it Marshall's?
I think so.
Somebody hit a home run. And a fan in left field tried using his hat to catch the baseball and technically succeeded. Because if you watch the slow motion replay that the broadcast showed a couple of times yesterday, the ball did get caught in the back portion of the hat where it's either the buttons or the Velcro. It was one of those kinds of hats, all right? And then he proceeded to drop said hat, and the ball fell out of the hat, and the guy in the Cooper DeJean jersey behind him grabbed it. And immediately, the guy who dropped the baseball, and this wasn't, in case you didn't see it, he caught it, he sat down, he's giving high fives, and then dropped the baseball. No, this was as if Trey Turner was playing shortstop. He just missed the ball. It hit his glove. He booted it. In this case, it was a hat. He proceeds to turn around and start yelling at the guy in the Cooper DeJean jersey that it was his baseball. Now, first and foremost, I don't think I'd ever have that reaction to a foul ball or a baseball. I have caught foul balls. I have been in the proximity of a foul ball. To me, it's let me try to catch it more so for defense and not so let me catch this so I can put it on my mantle and forget about it. Because I have a foul ball from when I was a kid that Jimmy Rollins hit, and I don't know where it is. I have a lot of baseballs. I don't know which one it is. Like, it doesn't say this ball was hit by Jimmy Rollins on it. Like, that's not there. I don't have that reaction. I don't know do you have that reaction? Like, if a ball's in your area, are you diving on the ground for it?
No, but we're also not the typical fan.
Okay.
So maybe that's the first game that guy's been to. He had his kid with him. The kid ends up with the ball. The person with the hat.
Okay.
So maybe that was special to him for that reason.
Are you sure? I don't remember. There was a kid involved here?
Yeah.
All right.
He gave his son the ball.
Okay. It is up to the guy behind him to make the decision of, I'm going to give the ball to the kid, not get yelled at and then feel guilty and then give the ball to the kid. You dropped the ball, bro.
I don't know. I may be on the side of the guy with the hat.
Okay. I need to hear it because I think you're the only person. Just like how Sean Brace was the only person that didn't like the Sandlot tribute at the All-Star game, you're going to be the only person that is in defense of the guy that dropped the ball. Go ahead.
Well, this is where it's interesting. He kind of dropped the ball, but he didn't really drop the ball. It got lodged in the hat, and it knocked the hat out of his hands. But as it's flipping in the air, because they showed the replay many times, the ball's still stuck in this guy's hat. So the question is, if the ball lands still in the hat, can you go into the guy's hat and take the ball out of it?
Never landed in the hat. I'm watching it as we speak. The ball was in the back of the hat.
Yeah, and it flips a couple times.
The hat flips a couple of times. A guy, not the DeJean guy, swatted at the hat knocking the ball out of the hat.
Okay, so the ball was dislodged before.
The guy did not catch so that we're all, it's like the Seinfeld spit episode. So we all know the Cooper DeJean guy that has the baseball caught the baseball. Somebody else smacked the hat as it was in the air and everybody's fumbling trying to get it, like the golden ticket. Somebody else smacked the hat. He got the ball. And it is by no means any other result, and that guy should be the one that has the baseball. But the guy with the hat climbs up to get his hat and then starts yelling at the dude saying, that's my ball, wah, 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 and then gets it. Now, sorry for saying the wah, 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 because I do want you on the show.
Yeah, you're really selling it right now.
I need him to make his case. As a Philadelphia fan, looking in the eyes of another Philadelphia fan saying, I'm deserving of that baseball and you're not.
Here's the thing. Like, if it's a glove, for example, if I had a glove on at a game and the ball is in my glove, but it's hit so hard it knocks the glove off my hand, I don't know what happens. So the glove hits the ground and the ball rolls away.
You don't get the ball. First off, then you should never wear a baseball glove again in your life if the glove falls off your hand. By the way, that guy it was the weekend. We didn't talk about it. The guy that missed the ball in the outfield that should have been a home run for Schwarber ended up being a double. You lost your baseball fandom card. Like, you can't go to a game front row outfield with a glove and then be afraid when the ball comes your way. That's weak, man. You can't do that. But yesterday, this guy lost. He lost the game, took his ball, and went home. This is the typical basketball kid that got cooked on the court and said, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. That's what this guy did yesterday, and I think he needs to address it. But I also want to hear from the DeJean guy, because if I'm the DeJean guy, I'm not giving up the ball.
Well, guess what? The DeJean guy had his chance. He had another one that almost hit him in the chest later in the game that he didn't make a play on. So, I don't know. Maybe that's the universe telling you which side we should be on. He got another opportunity. He blew that one, too.
No. Yo, dude, you watch football? Tip drill. Does the guy that first touched the ball get called for a touchdown or interception? No, it's the guy that finishes the play.
But the ball was lodged in an article of the guy's clothing for at least part of the flight.
He didn't come down with it. He did not have full control of the football. He did not have 2 feet in bounds.
I think this is at least a ball in the stands gray area. Here's where
there is no debating this. You are blatantly wrong.
Well, here's where I agree. The reaction to go get the ball from the guy and berate him is absolutely wrong. You shouldn't do
ridiculous.
That. That's insane behavior.
I get it. We're you pay money and the ball's coming your way, your heart's pounding. I get it. We've all been in that. Many people, I can't say we all. Many people have been in the situation where a ball is in your vicinity and your heart's pounding and you make contact with it. You think it's not yours, though. You did not come down with it. So, this guy is wrong. The guy that dropped the ball, literally dropped the ball, and then proceeded to berate the person to give him the ball back, you are in the wrong. There is no debate. Connor's the only person debating it. So if you do want to call in, you do have probably the one person in the entire world that's on your side. So you might as well call in because Connor will be here to defend you. But I also need to hear from the other guy that gave it up. This is not a Philly Karen situation in Miami where we will never have to see or hear from this person again. These 2 people involved took the Broad Street line maybe yesterday. They're the reason why you were in traffic on 76. You may have let them go. You may have said, go ahead, make the turn before I go. You interacted somehow, some way with these 2 individuals yesterday if you were at the baseball game. Somebody knows these people. It's national at this point. Somebody listening to this show knows one of the 2 people involved, and I need them to call in, and I need to talk to them. No text line, even though I love the Davis Honda text line. I need one of those 2 individuals to call in. 610-632-0975. It's horrible. I can't believe you're coming to this guy's defense.
My question is, what is possession of the baseball? If it's lodged in my hat at some point, I might argue that
possession of the baseball, of a foul ball or a home run ball hit at a baseball game, is you're getting the high fives. You know it's a feel, as Sean Bray says, feel fact, as an eye test thing. That is not possession of the baseball. Possession of the baseball is you were the one that picked up and did this, right? You're the guy. Hey, you watch a baseball game. Any game you see that moment, the moment is the fan that holds the ball up to show the world that they got the baseball. If you don't do that, you did not get the baseball.
But if you catch it in your glove, does your glove have possession of the ball, or do you have possession of the ball?
You have possession of the ball.
Then the hat.
No, he didn't hold on to the hat. The hat fell off. If my hand fell off, like it's there.
But
it's
it was
rolling
lodged
around
in the hat.
No, it
See,
wasn't
I'm
because
telling you, this is trickier than you think it is.
No, it was not lodged in the hat. This is ridiculous. You're the only person that's defending this guy. And I want this guy to call in and defend himself, but you are the only person that's actually in his defense. So this is the show for him to call into because you're actually defending it. It's sickening.
I'm not defending the disagreement. Let's be clear. I'm just saying that if it's lodged in the hat, he might have some claim to that baseball.
Bro, watch the replay. It's not lodged in the hat. It's flipping. Somebody smacks the hat, and it's not even the guy that came down with the baseball. The guy that came down with the baseball was fair game. He got the loose ball.
Yeah, so if a guy smacks your glove, the ball comes out, and somebody else picks it up, is it that other person's baseball?
It's whoever comes down with the baseball.
I don't know. I think it's a gray area.
Unless it was a little kid that had it, like Zach Hampel stole it from the glove of a little kid.
We need to call Zach Hampel on this.
No, I never want to speak with that man ever. This is not a debate, and yet here you are debating it.
So clearly a debate.
Well, not if one person is saying it. I won't even read the comment that I just saw on YouTube. Is anybody on Team Hat Guy? Because I think that was a disgusting act, and I know that we know these people. Somebody does. Somebody knows one of these two people involved, and I just want to talk to them about it. I want to know what went through everybody's mind. Because the only thing about the DeJean guy that I'll come to his defense of is this guy's a maniac. Here, take it. Like I've done that before. Here, damn, fine. Right? Like just fine. Go for it. Like I've done that before. This guy, I don't know. I would have said, no, man, it's my ball. You missed it. But I don't care enough that I probably would I would give it to somebody else.
Just turn around.
No, honestly, out of spite, because I don't really care about holding on to the ball, I would say, nah, dude, let me find another kid.
Well, yeah, you're fighting with teenagers at the grocery store. I know how you operate.
That's her fault, man. All right, coming up next, we have today's headlines with Connor Thomas, who is in defense of a guy that dropped the baseball and cried about it. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. 8:47 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5, The Fanatic. We're about to do today's headlines with Connor Thomas, but I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. Again, you're the only person in the world that is defending the dude with the hat that dropped the ball. He dropped the ball. The Jean guy had the ball in his hands, and then the dude that dropped the ball cried and went over and got it back. I will say the second attempt later on in the day, in case people don't know, the Jean guy had a second chance at it later on in the game. That was bad form. That one hit him in the chest.
This is your hero.
Well, no, I'm not saying he's my hero. What I'm saying is he is deserving of the baseball because he was the one that came down with the completion the first time around.
I think evidence would show he's not capable of making the catch because he got another opportunity, a clean look. So maybe
there's not one person that's agreed with you so far. YouTube,
I don't care.
Tweets. Anybody. You man the text line. Has anybody texted in agreement with you? Because I doubt it.
No, people are mad about him giving the ball back, but nobody's like,
yeah, he should have kept the ball and given it to another kid and not the guy that dropped the ball and cried about it. All right, let's go to Nick in Glenside, who I saw on our YouTube chat saying, I was close to this situation, and he's very much a part of this situation. Nick, what's up, brother? Good morning.
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, dude. What's going on?
All right. Yeah, it was a pretty wild night, I'll just say. We had like 5 home runs come within like 15 feet of us. So that was like the most crazy game just from that perspective. And, I was with 3 friends, and we were, so Cooper DeJean guy was at the end of one row facing the aisle, and we were just on the opposite side of the aisle. So we were right in this. One of my friends was the guy that sort of had his hand in the hat flipping situation.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'll just say right off, and there's a couple other things too, that Cooper DeJean, rightfully had the ball for sure. Like he caught it.
Yeah, he didn't take it out of the hat. It fell out of the hat. He cupped the ball, so he didn't even have a chance to pull it out of the hat. I'm watching the video in slow-mo. Like, it's unbelievable. It was his baseball, and then the other guy had a problem with it. That's not DeJean's fault. That's your fault.
Right. And look, I don't want to like roast a person on the airwaves and stuff like that because it could be another Karen situation. But the guy of the Halliday jersey, they actually were not sitting in their right seats. So I'm just gonna like put that out there. And
yeah, but game's game. I respect the hustle. I don't care that he went after the baseball.
I'm with you. They saw the opportunity and he had a good time with his kids. So like that's the other side of this too.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
I would do the same thing if I was there with my son. I would. Look, if I'm there by myself, I'm not knocking people over like George Costanza with a fire. But if I'm there with my son and there's a ball that's 3 seats to my left, and I see an opening, I would try to get it. I think that's fair game.
For it. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not with Connor, of course, on that one.
No one is.
Not like
you didn't have to say, of course.
Cooper clearly caught. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's pretty obvious. And then you guys were talking about Cooper got the second chance. I ended up with that ball on the rebound.
That's
so
awesome.
I ended up with that ball, taking that home. So it was just a wild night.
That's all. And he didn't come up to you crying.
He did not. No, he was the guy with the Cooper jersey. My friends were talking to him a bit. He was a real nice guy. He wasn't like bent out of shape about it. He really was like totally fine with it. Wasn't making a big stink about anything at all. You kind of tell that right away on the video. So
yeah, I mean it's
interesting situation.
It was crazy yesterday, and thank you, Nick, for calling in and giving your personal account. And he got the second ball, which is awesome. And Cooper DeJean did not go up to him saying, "Hey, that was my ball."
Because it wasn't in the hat.
Yeah, stop. Look, I'm not trying to be nasty to the guy, all right, the Roy Halladay jersey guy. Like, I'm not trying to be nasty. It's just I need to know why you feel like it was your ball. Like, I need to know why at that moment, emotions flying, you felt entitled to it. Because that's an entitlement thing. Like, you felt like this is your baseball. And I want to know when he's watching the video, because at some point, he's going to watch the video. At some point, a buddy of his sent it to him, a spouse, whatever. He's seen this video. Watching the video, do you feel bad about it? Because this is what we could do. If we could get in touch with Roy Halladay and Cooper DeJean, maybe they get a beer together.
I think that's going to be pretty tough.
Why?
Well, Roy isn't with us anymore.
The guy wearing the Roy Halladay jersey, I think we could get them to have a beer together. And
gotcha.
I would love to be the person that sets that up. So I don't want you thinking I'm just hounding you here. But it was a bad look. All right, it's time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
Sending it.
And it's brought to us by Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, like maybe you need to settle a foul ball case, remember the name, Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers, visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. I don't know who caught this home run, but I know it was impactful last night, and you mentioned it earlier on in the show, but we want to dive a little bit deeper into this. The Red Sox are on a heater right now.
Oh, yeah, 14 straight.
Tied at 5 in the 8th, and Caleb Durbin sends one into the night.
From Wells. Swinging a high fly ball left field. This is deep. Back it goes. Yes, sir. It's out of here. Home run. The Durbinator touches them all.
I don't know how I feel about the Durbinator as a nickname, but when you're on a heater like this, say whatever you want on the call.
Yeah, he just let it flow at that point.
Sometimes you got to.
Problem with the Red Sox is they've ruined the trade deadline. They were a team with legitimate pieces that were going to trade players away. And now you've won 14 straight games, and that's not happening.
No, it's just insane. Now, do they turn that into anything? Like, that's the question.
We'll see. I think they're fooling themselves if they think that they can win a World Series.
But you can't really like sell.
No, you can't.
The short aftermath of a 14-game win streak.
No, they might make a marginal move, and now they're buyers. Right?
Yeah.
They're not selling anymore. It's horrible.
So coming up later this season, we have a special occasion as well. We'll see the fans will be a big part of this one, but the players as well. The Field of Dreams game, we had the uniforms released. Did you get a chance to see the pictures of the uniforms the Phillies and the Twins will be wearing out in Iowa?
Yes, I did. They look sharp. I know there's some controversy regarding the jerseys because this is going back to a much different time.
Yeah.
And the Phillies were not really looked at as a very welcoming organization.
Watch the movie 42 if you need to have that answered for you.
They're cool-looking jerseys. As a 32-year-old that did not know that if I never saw the scene of 42, I'd say, oh, well, those are really cool jerseys. I know that there's some controversy behind it.
Yeah.
I know that there is.
No, I got you. I think it's just the jersey for the game.
Yes.
I don't think we should make too much out of that, but I like the Twins setup as well, and that'll be a really cool experience. You're just Mr. Nostalgia, so I wanted to see how you felt about
it's a cool jersey. Period. Like, if we're talking just the jersey, does this look cool, yes or no? The answer is yes. Would I like to see them wear that jersey more often? The answer is yes. Do I also understand that fans of the Phillies that there's issues behind the jersey? I also can understand why somebody would take a problem with it. But if you're asking me, do you like this jersey? Does it look cool? Yes or no? My answer is yes.
All right, completely fair. Something that I don't think is cool. Maybe you do. This is our latest edition of Who Asked for This. Have you seen the latest Tom Brady news?
No.
So
I know the fake stuff that's going on with Fanatics, him and one of the Paul brothers. But what's the real stuff?
No, that is the stuff.
Oh, it's fake.
Yeah, Tom Brady slapping Logan Paul recently in some type of face-off on stage somewhere. If that was at Fanatics Fest. And now TMZ Sports is reporting that Tom Brady is in talks with WWE to potentially get into a bout with one of the Paul brothers. Is anybody interested in this? Who is this for?
I find zero interest, but people like storylines, especially in the WWE. And, hey, there was, speaking of storylines, there was a big one yesterday in the world of movies with the Avengers stuff. So, like, there's a market for everybody. It's just I'm out. And
yeah, I don't need to see Tom Brady wrestling in the WWE.
No, because he's not going to be good.
And I've also had enough Brady for my life.
Brady's not going to be good. Like, I'm not a WWE fan by any means, all right? But I don't think Brady would be good at it. Like, Jason Kelsey's good at it because he's got that kind of personality. Tom Brady's, like, witty comments is not WWE worthy. That's all.
I agree with you.
But people like it. And so, hey, to each his own. All right, coming up next, Amy Fadul will be in studio. It's a Tuesday with Amy. Amy Fadul in studio. We'll talk more about this Phillies team. Was yesterday's win a reminder for you, hey, this team could still be dangerous. They could still compete with the best teams in baseball, the best team in baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Trey Turner, how do you personally view him? Do you view him fondly? Do you view him as a disappointment? Do you just think that he stinks? Tell us how you view Trey Turner. And speaking of Trey Turner, I have these stats that just paint the picture of the Phillies. It includes Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, and Bryce Harper. And it's unbelievable. Kincade Salciunas, Johnny out this week. Amy coming in next for the rest of the show here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Phils find a wild win. I'm Connor Thomas, and Trey Turner had a wild night in the Phillies' victory over the Dodgers, 10-7 the final, and Turner had multiple fielding miscues at shortstop. His issues in the field have been well noted this year, but he also went 3 for 5 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs at the plate. What in the world do you make of it? Well, Don Mattingly showed support for his shortstop afterwards.
Trey's our guy. Trey works every day. So it's not like Trey's out there, doesn't care about defense. He's working every day, all that type of stuff. So as long as Trey works, we ride with Trey.
Outside of the Turner experience, there were some milestones last night in the game for the Phillies as well. Trey Turner's second home run was his 200th of his career. Bryce Harper hit his 200th home run as a Philly. And the Phils hit 5 total homers, with Brandon Marsh and Derek Hill also going yard. They're most in the game so far this season. Game 2 is tonight at 6:40 p.m. Zach Wheeler on the mound against Eric Lauer. LeBron watch continues, as his agent Rich Paul said yesterday that the decision is not going to be rushed. We'll keep you updated as more news comes out. The Eagles are officially 1 week out from reporting to training camp, so football season is right around the corner, folks, and the Union will resume their season after the World Cup break. Their first game back is tomorrow night. Amy Fadul joins us in studio coming up next. She'll be with us for the rest of the show. Zach Berman, The Athletic, joins us at 9:05 to talk about the Eagles' preparation for camp and some stuff with Nick Sirianni's offseason. I'm Connor Thomas on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Thursday morning here on 97.5 The Fanatic, and I'm so fortunate that sometimes timing just works and that Amy Fadul can be in studio with me, because I'm debating somebody that there's no reason to debate a topic.
It's not a debatable topic.
About the guy who dropped the baseball yesterday, did not hold on to his hat. The ball fell out of the hat. The guy was able to cup the baseball. He did not proceed to grab the ball in one hand and rip the hat with the other.
Correct.
He cupped the baseball. It fell into his hands. Then I deem him worthy of holding on to the baseball. And the man that dropped the ball was in the wrong to go up to him and say, that's my ball. And I also think it's wrong for Cooper DeJean to give the ball back. Hello, Amy.
Hi. Yeah, that was ridiculous. He should not have given the ball back. Also, it wasn't that the guy went up and said, that's my, he like took it from his hands and said, that's my ball.
Yeah.
He didn't like ask for like, hey, dude, no, I caught that with my hat.
His team lost.
Your hat came off.
His team lost pickup basketball. He said, that's my ball and I'm taking it home.
That's exactly what it is.
That's what that was. And
you would think we learned something from Philly's Karen.
Well, and that's yes. Like and the thing is, Amy, this happened here.
I know.
Like Philly's Karen
was an away game.
She was able to run and hide because we don't know who she is. A lot of people remember people tried.
Yes, it was like she works here.
She works here.
Some poor women were just like, what's happening?
There was a company mentioned that she worked that people thought she worked for, and I know somebody very high up at that company. So I called her. I said, "Is this her?" And she said, "Oh my God, I think it is." They later found out that it wasn't, but the resemblance of that person, they literally thought it was her, and she was like, "Oh boy, we actually have to this doesn't look good for us." That's not what it was. It was somebody completely unrelated. She probably lives in Florida, and you never have to see from her again. This guy's here. This guy is a Philadelphian.
Yeah, his friends have identified him, right? There's his buddy saw him on television and was like, oh, my God.
Yes.
And then they all texted each other, did you see so-and-so? Yeah.
So my goal today, and I need the audience to help out because I know you know this person, one of the two people, and I hope that we can get in touch with both. I'm not saying we need to get them together so that the ball goes back to the rightful owner. The rightful owner is Cooper DeJean, jersey guy.
Eagles jersey, it owns the ball. It's his ball.
Rightful owner. But I think with all of this going on, as we continue to strive toward greatness in society, Amy.
Because we've had a great year, Philadelphia.
Yes, we have.
We've had a great year.
If we get those two together and Roy Halladay, jersey guy, buys him a beer, and we talk about it, I think that would be good. I think that would be good for the city. I think that would be good for society. I think it would be good for the world, and it would also be good for this show to be able to get in touch with these two people.
So,
selfishly.
you know Roy Halladay jersey or Cooper DeJean jersey, please let us know.
And he's defending it.
Yeah, so Connor took exception because you feel like you're not defending him, but yet you come in and your first thing is like, I'm just saying. If you start a sentence, I'm just saying, that's absolutely defense.
My argument is about...
And again, defense.
It's about the logistics of the flight of the ball. Once the ball's in the possession of somebody, like in this case, Cooper DeJean
have possession.
No, right. What I'm saying is...
Michael Irvin called and said, I have no idea what a catch is. That's not a catch.
What I'm saying is once the ball's in Cooper DeJean guy's hands, anything past that I'm not talking about. It's wrong to go up to that dude, whether you're right or wrong, to have the ball and then argue with him and take the ball out of his hands. I'm not defending that. I'm just saying the logistics of it being stuck in the hat for a couple of rotations. Kind of a gray area. Well, I don't know. There's no rule book for this.
It touched his hat, kind of.
The guy
he was lodged in the hat.
So let me
ask. Not lodged.
All right, let me ask something.
It couldn't have been lodged, therefore, because he didn't take it out of the hat.
No, another guy knocked it out. We had a caller in who said his friend was the one who knocked it out.
Listen,
so it was at some point lodged.
But it wasn't DeJean. DeJean was a third party.
He's
just the one that came down with the ball.
Comes and it gets bounced around, and you try to pick it up, and it touches your hand, and then it bounces away. That's not your ball. That's not your ball.
Just saying, Connor. You're in the wrong here, and that's okay to admit, and it's okay for Roy Halladay to call in, the Roy Halladay fan, to call in and admit that he was wrong, and we'll try to get these two guys together, and they can break bread or drink a beer together and talk about it. And I would love to be the show that gets these guys together. So you can help us by telling them the phone number, 610-632-0975. All right, Amy, yesterday was a emotional day for a lot of Phillies fans. So I was doing the show, and it was after dropping 2 of 3 against the Mets. And as you know, that's the team that I hate more than anyone else. More than the Celtics and Cowboys and Penguins and all these teams that we hate. The Mets are my number one team to hate. And when they dropped 2 of 3 against the Mets this past weekend.
In a frustrating fashion.
Yeah, it sucked. Like, I was really peeved by it. But I came out of that series not reacting like this team stinks. I hate them. I just hated them for putting me through it. But I don't hate them in terms of whether or not they're a good team. They are a good baseball team. And yesterday, saying that was controversial. Saying that I still think that they win the division was controversial. Saying positive things about a team that dropped 2 of 3 to the Mets was a controversial day for me. They won last night. And so my question for the people today, it's 610-632-0975, and we'll get your answer. We also have to update the poll. Dr. Avedon Appel and the team at Iron Mountain Men's Health keeps our polls strong every single day. Was last night a reminder for you
that they're still good,
that they could still be good and they could still compete? I'm not saying was it a reminder that they're World Series contenders or that they're going to get hot at the right time. Just, hey, after the 2 of 3 series loss to the Mets, we were very emotional about it. Did we feel a little bit better today?
Be honest, though. On Sunday, when you saw them get worked by the Mets, you thought they're definitely taking a series against the Dodgers.
No.
I did.
I had Doc Rivers in my brain, scheduled loss, because Alan Ronhell pitched because they don't have a fifth starter because we put all the bread in the basket of Andrew Painter, who's not good right now.
Let's be honest. The fifth starter's been an issue for longer than Andrew Painter.
Yeah.
Taijuan Walker called and said, give me my money.
That's true.
So that's been a problem, and they just keep thinking they could piecemeal it or find something. And Painter was going to be the solution, and obviously that hasn't happened. But, no, I mean, I didn't come away from the game last night thinking, again, they're world beaters, and they're good. But I thought this is who we thought they were. Like I had good confidence after the way the Mets series went, knowing that Sanchez helps it with Christopher Sanchez on the mound when you start a series against the World Series champs. But I had a good feeling about the Dodgers. Traditionally, they do play the Dodgers well. We all know that. But they play the Mets well. It was just one of those. It was a frustrating series, and I thought this team is going to feel that. They're going to feel that against the Dodgers, and they're going to want to try to. I worried about them pressing just because I know that they had that frustration. You could feel the frustration certainly in the Sunday loss.
Oh yeah.
And I thought they're going to come out and try to press, but did I think Trey Turner was going to hit 2 home runs? No.
Did you also think that he was
going
going
to boot 3 balls? Yes, I did.
That unfortunately,
that is the full Trey Turner experience.
All right, so we'll talk about that in a second.
But I felt good about the Dodgers.
It was a nice win yesterday. What's the poll? I know it's changed a little bit because earlier it was like 75-25. I knew how it would go. Yesterday it was like you're an idiot, Andrew, for saying that it's gonna. You're still confident that this team can win the division. And I knew that this morning, because they won last night, it would completely flip, and it pretty much did that. It's gotten a little bit closer. Yeah. What do we got?
Yeah, so it was 70-30 last time we checked. Was last night a reminder of how good this Phillies team could be? Now 60% of people are saying, yes, they can be dangerous, but 40% are saying, no, I won't be fooled.
A 10% swing in the opposite direction mid-show is big, but I'm still right that majority of people one day later are now back on board because they beat the Dodgers.
You're right now. Well, we got 2 more hours to go.
Right.
We'll see.
Right. We'll keep updating it.
We have 2 more games to go as well.
We know it's going to change the second they lose.
Look, exactly. I love this city. You love this city. We all love this city. We all love our fellow people. But I just know how we are, and it's the back and forth, ebbs and flows of a baseball season. And Amy, the Trey Turner conversation is so amazing to me because last Friday. You were not in on Friday because you were on vacation. It was after a bad day for Trey Turner. It was a bad day offensively, bad day defensively. He hit the late home run, like the garbage time home run, and we started talking about Trey Turner. And our question for people was whether or not he's one of the more disappointing contracts that you can remember. Not bad, not all-time, this is what set us back, just disappointing because 99% of the city loved when they signed him. They were happy for the player. They didn't care about the amount of years. Look at how many they just came out of losing the World Series. We're going to get even better now. Then Trey Turner has the World Baseball Classic afterward.
And we're watching it.
And we're fired up. And now we have a little bit of revisionist history. There was a guy that tweeted at me the other day. They signed him only because of the World Baseball Classic.
That's not how that worked.
I made sure to remind him that the World Baseball Classic happened after they signed him. He then did not respond to me because that's what happens on social media. You say something foolish, you get called out for it, then you go dark and you don't say anything. They signed Trey Turner before that. He has the World Baseball Classic. Everybody in the city is excited. Look at what we just did and look at who we got.
Yeah, we were just right there, and then we got it. We got the guy that was one of the best players in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
Given also that he had been part of the winning pedigrees at other teams.
He's won a World Series. He's
so you're thinking like
hit over 300 numerous times. How do you view Trey Turner? Because Friday when we talked about this, Austin, our great YouTube producer, clipped it and scheduled it to come out Sunday because we need content that still circulates over the weekend. And it happened after he had like a 3-for-4 game. And so people thought we were live at 6 o'clock that morning on a Sunday, coming on the air, ripping Trey Turner.
What are you guys doing?
And it's like, well, hold on. If you listen to first off, if you knew what had happened, that's one thing. But if you even just listen to the clip, we didn't say that he stinks. It was, this guy's played he's in his 4th season. He's had 2 good ones. He's had 2 not so good ones. Yeah. He's horrible in the field. And the reason why we're talking about right-handed bats is because of him. Because if he was consistent, we're not talking about it as much. So you're seeing him play good baseball right now offensively, but at the same time,
right now,
the dude can't play defense. He can't play shortstop. So how do you view, like when I say, tell me about Trey Turner, what would you tell me about him?
I would tell you, look at the Monday game. That's exactly what you get with Trey Turner. You get some good, obviously not the home runs. That's not really what he's known for.
Right.
But last year, yeah, he had the batting title, and even still, you didn't come away from his season last year thinking, wow, like, what a great signing. And not just because of the defense, just overall, it's just an inconsistent feel to his time here.
Yeah.
My number one word would be inconsistent. You just don't know what you're going to get with Trey Turner. And it's not just about the fielding, though. Every time they knocked the fielding last year when he was hitting well, it was like, well, he's still better than, and they would name a couple different, like, stats to try to like prove the point of like how his defense isn't that bad. It reminded me of when they would give out, well, Castellanos has no errors. I'm like, yeah, because he doesn't get to the ball half the time.
Right.
So sure, he doesn't have any errors for Casty. Trey Turner, they're like, oh, well, he's better than X amount of shortstops out there. The problem, I think, for me is if you flip-flopped him and Bryson Stott, you solve a lot of the issues.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure when you saw the way that Trey Turner defensively last year, even though he wasn't as bad as he is this year, was not good. And you're seeing how many errors. And the thing is, we all watch, and I wish somebody, I should say this. I kind of wish you guys could be in the room when we're watching a game with Ricky Bowe because he has a lot. And the thing is, he says a lot in the newsroom that he also says on television.
Absolutely.
He does not. There's not a filter in between, which is great, which is why he's on the Unfiltered show.
Yes.
But it's one of those things of, they don't count a lot of the errors that a lot of people would count. Like, we watch the ball, and we're like, that's an error.
He got counted for 1 last night. He had 3. He made 3 errors yesterday.
Let's be honest. And I get people are like, oh, you'd have to make a good play. You're a $300 million man. You're supposed to make a good play.
I don't care if you're a $1 man. You're playing Major League Baseball. You are in the major leagues. Like, it's one thing for Connor and I in the men's baseball league not making a play.
Yeah,
this guy's a professional baseball player missing – Not necessarily tough plays.
You misjudged a hop, or you broke late. There's different things. Like, oh, that's not an error. I'm like, that is an error. That's an error. It was an error 5 years ago. It was an error 10 years ago. It should be an error in 2026.
Absolutely.
So I think one of the things you looked at and you're like, oh, but if you flip-flopped, I just don't understand because Trey is so adamant, I guess, about not playing second base. Bryson Stott is a much better shortstop defensively. Much better. That's not a question in my mind. It should be a question in anybody else's mind.
No.
But the whole time of like when Trey Turner was struggling, well, you don't want to do that to him because then you would lose his confidence. Okay, well, at some point, don't you just say, I'm in charge? Like, I'm in charge now. I appreciate that you want to play shortstop.
Yeah.
I think it's great, but your bat's been going well. We're going to need to switch. We're going to need to switch that up. You're here for like 7 more years.
And look, and try it. It's not, hey, this is what
I'm
we're doing.
not putting him in the outfield.
No, I'm not doing that
Which
either.
was my favorite thing people had a couple years ago.
I said that earlier. I said there are people that are still saying the outfield thing.
I do not want to put him in the outfield.
I would put him at third base before outfield.
There
Can't
you
do
go.
it now because Alec Bohm's going out there hitting 6-4-3 double plays. But when Alec Bohm's gone, I think that's actually a consideration. Like, you can't think when you're at third base. There's no, it's just you got to do it. And so I would do third base Trey Turner before I do outfield Trey Turner.
He's an infielder. I like that. He just can't play defensive shortstop anymore. If there was a way to have a defensive replacement in every game late, I would do it. But that's an impossibility. That's not a realistic chance of you having winning baseball if you're constantly replacing your shortstop at defense.
And if we're talking about feelings and mentality, we just saw one guy get pulled last year for a defensive replacement.
Oh, he was all salty.
And we all know how that
I don't think Trey Turner would act that way. I think he's a professional. And I appreciate that. Listen, he won the batting title last year.
Yeah.
But even still last year, you didn't come away and thought that he was a world beater. I think overall, the idea, if you ask me about Trey Turner's time and the contract, I'm like, inconsistent.
Yeah.
Just disappointing in some realm just because you thought he was going to be like the extra piece to get you there, and he has not been the extra piece.
No, he has ultimately been more of a disappointment. And when that video dropped Sunday morning, there were people that took exception to that, and I don't really know why. Now, before we get to the text line, I have the perfect painting of the picture of the Philadelphia Phillies. So, Connor, I told you this earlier. Trey Turner in games that they have won this year, Amy. So 54 wins, 44 losses. In the 54 games that they have won, Trey Turner is hitting .291 with a .323 on base, .439 slug. He's got 8 home runs, 31 ribbies, 11 stolen bases. Good numbers.
Those are what you want.
In the games that they've lost, he's batted .182, .258 on base, .333 slugging, 7 doubles, so less doubles, less home runs, less everything. All right, by a lot. It's not just Turner, though. This is so the Phillies. Ride and die with the big three. And the big three are Turner, Schwarber, and Harper. Here's Harper's differentials. In games that they have won, 318 batting average.
Wow.
417 on base, 632 slug, an OPS of 1.049. Like this dude, that's MVP
Those are
numbers.
elite numbers, yeah.
16 home runs, 46 RBI, 13 doubles and a triple, one more strikeout than walks. Like he's like the best.
Those are elite numbers.
Great baseball player, Bryce Harper. In games that they've lost, however, that 318 batting averages drops to 181, 295 on base, 323 slug, an OPS of .618, just 5 home runs to the 16 in games they win, 14 RBI to the 46 that they win, and part of that is guys getting in base in front of him,
right?
And Trey Turner's not. 5 doubles to his 13. Kyle Schwarber. How about even worse? Kyle Schwarber in games they win. 338 batting average. 453 on base, 760 slug, 1.2 OPS, 26 home runs. He's got 33 on the season. That means in the games that they've lost, he's only hit 7 home runs. How about an RBI differential of 41? He has 51 RBI in the games that they've won, 10 in the games that they've lost. His batting average, 338 in games that they win. How about 138 in games that they lose? 250 on base percentage. That's cut in half from the games that they win. It's unbelievable how those 3 guys really, truly are the reasons why they win or lose. You get your starting pitching. You get your bullpen stuff. But that is just...
You got to score runs.
The differential from wins and losses, those 3 guys, it's drastic.
Those numbers. I would like to see... I bet it's less drastic for a guy like Brandon Marsh.
I can look that up for you right now.
Do you know what I mean?
How about that? Let me see. Brandon Marsh, for context purposes, let's go to his 2026 splits. In games that they have won, he's batting .333. Games that they've lost, it's lower, but .234. Not as big of a drop-off.
Big gap.
Everything is lower in the games that they have lost versus the games they won. And that's going to be normal.
Not like 50 less RBI or 40 less RBI.
Dude, 40 less RBI is insane. And it starts with Trey Turner, because if he's on base, then that's not the same issue.
Yeah, they're a top-heavy team. They have been. That's what happens when you commit all this money to the big-time stars on long-term contracts. You don't build the farm system well, or you trade them for rentals at deadlines because you don't add enough on the margins. Like, this is what this team has always been.
Right, but you would think that they would still be consistently – look, there's going to be a drop-off in games you win and lose.
Right,
Because one game that means you played better versus the other game you didn't play so good in. But that much of a difference, that's not just top-heavy. That's the guys that you rely on the most.
Did you say consistently with the Philadelphia Phillies?
Yeah.
No, we know that.
Consistently inconsistent are the Philadelphia Phillies. All right, coming up next, has Nick Sirianni lost his fastball? I can't wait to have this conversation. Amy, we're going to be joined by Zach Berman coming up at 9:05 today to talk about his article where Nick Sirianni has needed to find new ways to motivate his players. I'm actually kind of concerned about this because that's the number one thing that we've been able to say Nick Sirianni's great at. Has he lost his touch a little bit? Kincade and Salciunas, Johnny out this week. Amy in 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The total Trey Turner experience. I'm Connor Thomas, and that's what the Phillies saw last night in their win over the Dodgers, a 10-7 final. Trey Turner, he was not great in the field. 3 miscues at least at shortstop, depending on how you count them, but also went 3 for 5 with 2 homers at the dish. So how in the world do you evaluate that performance? He talked about it after the game.
Just ridiculous game in general by me, which I was happy we got the win, but just roller coaster of up, down, up, down. But, when you do things like that or have games like that, sometimes you just got to laugh about it.
There were also some milestones in the game, with Turner hitting his 200th career home run, Bryce Harper hitting his 200th as a Philly. The Phils had 5 homers, their highest total in the season so far in a single game. Brandon Marsh and Derek Hill also adding to that total. Game 2 is tonight at 6:40 p.m. Zach Wheeler on the mound facing off against Eric Lauer. LeBron watch is continuing. His agent Rich Paul saying yesterday on his podcast that the decision is not going to be rushed, so don't hold your breath, folks. But we'll keep you updated as more news comes out. The Eagles are officially 1 week out from reporting to training camp, and the Union will resume their season after the World Cup break tomorrow night. Amy Fadul will be with us for the remainder of this show in studio. Zach Berman of The Athletic joins us coming up at 9:05. This update is brought to you by the Macom Group. They support contractors with one of the largest PVF inventories from pipe, valve, and fittings to trusted brands. Count on the Macom Group to help you stay on schedule. Visit MacomGroup.com today. I'm Connor Thomas on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
7 days to camp. This is Ricky Bowe. I'm looking forward to seeing Jalen Hurts. 97.5 The Fanatic Philadelphia. More of Kincade Salciunas coming your way now.
Johnny the K on vacation. He'll be back for his final week next week. It's a Tuesday with Amy Fadul in studio with us, and we're about to talk about whether or not Nick Sirianni has lost his fastball in a moment. But I do have another question about the home run fiasco that took place yesterday. If you're just tuning in, you didn't see it last night, there was a home run hit at the Phillies game yesterday.
The guy almost had a chance at another one, too.
The guy, yeah, and that one was bad. But, you
just got to catch that.
Yeah.
But he caught the other one.
He did. A Phillies fan put his hat up in the air, and the ball went into the back of the hat, but then he dropped the hat because of the motion of the baseball, the velocity of which it came in. Hat slipped through his fingers, flies in the air, spins a couple times, and a guy catches the ball as it exited the back of the hat. He cupped the baseball. He caught it. The guy who originally had the ball go in his hat goes up a row and says, "That's my ball," and takes it from him.
He literally says, "It was in my hat," and you can see him go because the guy's holding the ball in his left hand, and he reaches around and takes it out of his hand.
He did. He
said,
like,
"It's my ball.
It's my chain."
It's definitely one of those moments I would have been like, "What is happening here?
No, it was a disgusting act.
What is happening?"
And I have been putting out the call to have this person call in. Now, let me ask you. Karen in Miami was able to disappear because we think she lives down there.
Correct.
This guy can't. If you are the Roy Halladay jersey guy, do you hide for a little bit?
Yes.
Or do you acknowledge it? I think acknowledging is always the correct way to go about life. Whether you do something, especially if you do something wrong. Like, I'm hey, honey, I messed up.
Yeah.
Hey. Let me just talk. I don't want you finding out on your own or whatever. Like, let me talk to you about it. If I say something stupid on these airways, which is almost every single day, I'll acknowledge it. Does this guy acknowledge it, or does he kind of just disappear? He didn't do anything that's going to get him fired from his job.
No.
Like, it's not like he said something bad and then somebody caught a video of him and he got in a fist fight. So, like, his job's safe, but his job knows that he's the guy that did it.
That would count on him believing he did something wrong. There's a chance that he thinks because of the hat thing that it was he had right to the ball.
Yeah, but do you address it? Even if you call in or whatever, you go on social media and say, look, this is why because that was one of my questions was I want him to call in to see if he still stands by his judgment. Or has he since watched the video and said, man, that's a bad look? Yeah. I think addressing it's better.
Oh, absolutely. But you're asking me what he's going to do or what? I mean, I don't know. You're the guy that went and took a home run ball away that wasn't yours. So
I think it'd be best for him to address it.
Of course it would be.
So if you know this individual or if that individual is listening to the show right now, 610-632-0975.
You have a friend in the show. Connor is on your side.
The one person.
Guy.
The one person that's on your side.
Connor's on your
is
side.
on the show. It's almost your duty to call in now.
He's talking about the revolutions, which if you watch again, it's not in the hat when it's in the back. It's still revolving. So that's how I know it's not in the hat.
Backspin, baby.
If it was in the hat, it wouldn't be still moving like that. It wouldn't be spinning. Because if I catch a moving object into something, that's going to stop said object. That's simple physics.
Yeah.
That's a class
Object
you take
in motion stays in
after
motion.
chemistry.
All right. There's nothing
that?
simple about physics. I got a D- in it at college. So it's a difficult science there.
I mean, it's simple because it's something that is happening every day.
This guy needs to address it.
I need some calculations.
The ball would not be having any revolutions if it was actually caught. It was in the hat's orbit. The hat came loose. The ball came out. It is a free ball.
He's in the wrong. The guy was completely, totally wrong.
Caught it on the fly.
Take the ball back.
The ball pops up. That's his ball.
And by the way, if I'm DeJean, I'm saying no, it's my ball.
Yeah.
And I
would look at him and be like, first of all, reaching across, like he has to reach across.
No, it's a wild move. Yeah.
I probably would have been so stunned of like, sir?
Yeah, the guy's not going to call in or talk to anybody about it because he's so in the wrong and he knows it.
But if you do,
he's just going to hide about it.
You have a friend here in the show.
The one.
Connor Thomas.
The one and only.
I'll hear him out.
All right.
Of course you will.
Has Nick Sirianni lost his fastball? So when we talk about Nick Sirianni, God, what do we say about Nick? Guy doesn't have anything to do with the offense.
He's an everyman.
But man, all he does is win. His teams are always ready to play, and all they do is win.
Players love him,
and you can't like that. All that stuff's true. It's Nick Sirianni's discussion points are the same as Jalen Hurts's. Like you can either just completely ignore the opposite side of your feelings about the person. Like, I'm not the number one Jalen Hurts fan, but I acknowledge what he does well. I also point out what he does poorly. There are people that if you love Jalen Hurts, you ignore the bad play. If you hate Jalen Hurts, you ignore the fact that he's a Super Bowl MVP. You could do the same thing about Nick Sirianni. You had your opinion about him because of the introductory press conference. You thought he was a buffoon. So you're going to always think that he's not a good coach, despite him being to 2 Super Bowls and winning a Super Bowl and having one of the best, if not the best, winning percentages in the first 5 seasons of the start of a career for a head coach. All that stuff is true. Like, you can't take that away from him. Now, if you want to go really deep, nitty-gritty, hey, does he have anything to do with the defense's success the last 2 years? No. I don't believe that he has. Do I think he's helped the offense when they've needed it? Absolutely not. I think this is why we've had 2 collapses over the last 3 years as well. But one thing about Nick Sirianni is the motivational factors.
He motivates. Remember how much we gave him grief, rightfully so, at the time of the whole plant and the seed, and we're like, what is this
we're all
guy
fertilizing,
talking about? And then all of a sudden, they did grow and they did it was like, whatever this guy says, I don't care. It makes no sense half the time, but clearly he motivates those players.
The players buy into it. Absolutely.
They do. Which clearly he does. So I
laugh at it, but NFL locker rooms are different, man.
Listen, I'm done talking about it for that part. I was like, he must know something. I'm not going to comment on it because I don't know.
Maybe he doesn't know anything.
Well, clearly he's trying to get.
Zach Berman put out a story. He's going to join us at 9:05 today. That Nick Sirianni is now using ChatGPT to help get his messages across.
AI is evil, everyone.
Nick Sirianni explored ChatGPT this offseason in keeping the message fresh entering year 6.
See, I appreciate the second part of that sentence. I appreciate that. Listen, we all know how many times when things aren't going well, they need a new voice in the locker room. They got to have a new voice, blah, 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 new voice. This is maybe not the new voice we were looking for.
No.
I'm not a big fan of AI.
I want a real voice.
I just think there's other ways to basically ChatGPT and any of the AI. There's Gemini. There's all kinds of stuff or whatever. They call known things across the internet and kind of help you. I don't believe in that. I think there's other ways to do it. I think you can do it yourself as far as you can cull all the information. And a guy that has the resources like Nick Sirianni and can call up literally, he's a Super Bowl winning coach. One of the best, you just mentioned, one of the best winning percentages in the history of football right now.
Yeah.
Winningest coach right now, current, active. He could call up anyone. He could call up any one of the great coaches out there. He could go down to his Mount Union days, which he loves, his high school. He can call anybody he wants.
Well, his brothers run out of sayings for him to be able to use, and so that's why he needs to turn to ChatGPT.
Call anybody. You could literally pick up the phone. You could call Bill Belichick if you wanted to. I don't know if he's a master motivator, but he obviously was very, very successful.
Yeah.
You could call other players. You could call former quarterback. You could call anyone and kind of get a new message. To use ChatGPT, I thought was like, I saw that, I was like, really?
All right,
AI
Connor,
sucks.
do you have some music for me?
Oh, we're gonna read this?
I'm gonna help you out. All right.
Oh, this is very zen.
I don't know if I like this music.
This is the exact music you asked
it's
for.
It's like an
All right,
Irish.
yeah, I'll take. No, it's Braveheart. I'll take it.
Oh.
All right, this
sorry.
is.
Sorry, Scottish.
I plugged into ChatGPT. How would you motivate a team after losing a hard-fought game? I know this one hurts. We put everything we had into that game, and sometimes the result doesn't reflect the effort. What matters now is how we respond. There were a lot of things we did well, and there are also some things that we can learn from. Those lessons will make us better if we're willing to embrace them. Great teams aren't defined by never losing. They're defined by how they bounce back. We stick together, support each other, and get back to work. Nobody wins a championship in one game. And nobody loses one in one game either, unless it is the Super Bowl. Hold your heads high because you competed with heart. And tomorrow, we learn, we improve, and we prepare for the next opportunity. Be proud of your effort today. The character you showed is something no scoreboard can take away. Let's use this feeling as fuel and come back stronger.
It sounds like some bad Hallmark movie.
All right. How would you motivate a team before a must-win game? Fire it up again, please. This is why we've put in all the work. Every early morning, every hard practice, every setback, we've earned the chance to compete in this moment. Don't think about the final score or what's on the line. Think about the next play. Win the next possession. Trust each other, trust the preparation, and play the way we know we're capable of playing. Pressure isn't a sign something is wrong. It's a sign that the game matters. The team that stays connected, communicates, and keeps fighting when things get hard will give itself the best chance to win. Play for the teammate beside you. Celebrate the small victories. If we make a mistake, we respond immediately. No pointing fingers, no hanging our heads, just the next play. And when the final whistle blows, make sure that you can honestly say you gave everything you had. Because if we do that together, we'll put ourselves in the best position to win. Now let's go earn it. I mean, that's just great.
It's literally like they took like Friday Night Lights quotes and from the movie and the show, because you can pull, that's a lot of stuff. Varsity Blues.
Remember the Titans in there a little bit.
No. Bite your tongue over there. Show some respect.
No, they're calling it from all of those places, and it's a hodgepodge.
Coach Boone did not need ChatGPT.
No, he didn't.
I know. I'm talking about the Disney movie.
It's unbelievable. So, Nick Sirianni, ChatGPT, we'll see how it goes, man.
I guess he is an everyman because a lot of people use ChatGPT and the other AI slop.
Yes, absolutely. My wife was using it yesterday.
Don't do it,
Next
folks.
to me. I was like, you know that device is coming from my job?
Don't do it.
Or puts food on
That's
our
what I will
plate?
say. I have a lot of friends that use it because they're not in media or sports television. It's funny when you have friends outside of the business. You're like, oh, tell me more about your life.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for our world. It's so strange to me. It gets stuff wrong all the time. Like, you know how, because Google does it now, if you, search something and then it brings up it kind of calls an AI answer. And I'm like, half that stuff's wrong.
Yeah. No, you have to find the actual link and click on it from a real person that actually did the research.
And it's the most research-oriented of any kind of realm. Any subject matter. Sports are the most easily researchable kind of, subject matter. And it's one ChatGPT and all the AI constantly get wrong.
Yeah. All the time. All right.
Amazing.
But Nick Sirianni will use it for the good.
I hope so.
Coming up next.
They should record it and see if they can run it through the AI generator and see how much of it was AI generated.
That actually, somebody should do that. We could do that.
Well, you could watch maybe like a press conference or when they release after a win.
A statement or whatever? Yeah. Oh,
when they release the video, maybe they can run that through the AI generator thing.
All right, coming up next, more reaction on the baseball incident that took place at Citizens Bank Park yesterday. Back-to-back seasons where Phillies fans are involved with a home run ball. But also, the latest on LeBron. Have not gotten your thoughts today, Amy, as we continue to await the future of LeBron James. And is it with the Philadelphia 76ers? It's Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Not only can you
and it was knocked out. I'm not defending the whining, which I'm not either, but human etiquette, I would have picked up his hat and handed the guy the hat and ball.
The hat. The
hat
ball was not
separate.
still holding on
He'd
to the
have
ball.
to jump over a row to go get the hat. The hat had left the chat, everyone. The hat was no longer in it. It had exited the chat.
If you watch the video, he picks up the hat before going after the ball. He went hat first, then ball. So these are two separate things that he had to grab.
He had to go forward
Yes.
to get the hat and backward to get the ball. Like because George Costanza, he went forward and then back.
Yes. All right. What else you got?
Bryant checks in.
The only
says,
other person that agrees with you. Go ahead.
Good morning. I feel bad for the hat guy because it would have been his ball if someone didn't smack the hat. I disagree with him yelling at the other person, but it getting smacked out wasn't his fault.
Let me ask you something. When Barry Bonds hit the record-breaking home run, it touched like 70 hands.
Exactly.
Do you feel bad for the 69
68,
other people? What about the Shohei Ohtani 50-50 ball? That bounced around a little bit. Do you feel bad for the people? Like, I feel bad that they were millions of dollars away from a baseball. Or a baseball away from millions of dollars.
We've all been to the game where a ball has come up, foul ball or home run, and you're in the area, and you see someone, it touches them, it bounces on their seat next to them, they have it, and then it's gone because these balls are coming in at a
It
very
touched
high
their
clip.
seat. They paid for that seat. They
That's mine.
bought a ticket. It must be their ball.
If it bounces away, you touch it, and then it leaves you, it left you. The ball is not meant to be yours. It's gone. It's not your ball.
No.
It's not your ball.
Yeah, but there's 3 people in the world that
Connor.
are defending this guy, and Connor's
Maybe
one of them.
more. We've only heard from 3 of them.
And
there could be more.
No, I don't think there will be.
But I feel like those text messages like, I get it, but he's wrong.
Well, I'm saying he was wrong to go up to the guy and get the ball. Like I would never.
You think it's his ball.
Whether I think it's his ball or not.
No,
No. I want this to be clear because I don't want people to think I'm okay with yelling at people in the stands over something trivial like a home run ball.
Okay.
Like, I don't care who's supposed to be in possession of it. You don't go up to a dude and like argue with him and rip the ball out of his hands. That makes you an ass. Okay? So no one put me on the same side as that. Don't you mispaint this to try and win the argument. All I'm just saying is we're talking about the trajectory and the possession. I think that's where the gray area is.
Do you think he's the rightful owner of the baseball?
I think he has.
Forget everything else.
I think he has an argument.
I think you're wrong. I don't think there is an argument. I don't think there is a remote argument. Have you ever caught a foul ball? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
But I got great hands.
Okay, so in the scenario, I'm in section 125. I'm row 18. You're section 125, row 15. Ball comes up. I catch it. It's in my glove, and I go to secure it, and it pops out because it came in at 112 miles an hour, and my hands, though big, are not that great. It pops out. It goes 3 rows in front. You catch it. But it was in my glove.
Are you looking back 3 rows saying,
It's in my
Who
glove.
knocked this down? Whose ball is it?
If I see it in the glove, I'm giving you the ball back.
No, you're
No, you're not.
out of here. You're doing this. You're doing what every other fan in the world does. You're picking up the ball.
You're absolutely doing
I got
this.
it.
Listen,
I'm
karma,
not.
baseball gods, give us one thing. Give us a scenario for Connor.
I've given multiple balls
No, that's
away.
when you've caught them outright.
Or when they've been loose.
Mother Teresa
I will
over here.
never take another
I've
ball
given
home from a
multiple
game.
baseballs away.
I have. I'll never take another. I have too many. I will never bring another one back.
Zach
I
Campbell's
thought
friend?
so
My
many home
God.
runs.
What, when Zach can't make it to a game, are you his replacement?
No, I go to more games than the average person, and I've been lucky at points. All I'm saying is, like, I've given them away so I could speak from. I
All
don't
right.
need a foul ball.
So, who's your favorite Philly right now on the roster?
Brandon Marsh. Because Otto Kemp's
All right.
on the roster.
So Beardo,
Go ahead.
Beardo hits a home run. You catch that ball off a bounce or off someone else's deflection. You don't keep that ball?
No, I'd give it to somebody.
No, he wouldn't. That's a
I
lie.
would. You brought up Otto Kemp. I got a ball from Otto Kemp in spring training and gave it to.
That's not a real game. Not a real game.
And gave it to John Marks.
Yeah,
I brought
it's
it back
still-
for
it's still-
someone.
it's still
Your
here.
legit scenario. I did the exact opposite like 4 months ago. What more do you need me to say?
By the way, I need to ask because I've not got all I'm seeing is the video. Who hit it? Do we know whose home run this was yet?
I still gotta go back and look at it. I don't know.
It's not funny.
Because hold on a second. This is actually a legitimate thing to bring up. Do we know if that was the 200th home run of Trey Turner's career?
You mean Bryce Harper?
No, Turner hit the 200th home run yesterday.
It was Bryce Harper hit 200 with the Phillies.
No,
And Trey
yesterday.
hit 200
Trey his 200th
overall.
home run.
Oh.
So
I guess I
what if that was his 200th home run?
All right, let's watch it.
Where you could actually get something for it, and you just took the ball out of the guy's hand. I don't know who hit the home run yesterday. Forgive me. I forget who hit it. All I can remember is the fiasco in the outfield. Because that's important. What if that was actually a worthy baseball, and this guy just ripped it out of the hands of Cooper DeJean, or the guy wearing the DeJean jersey? All right. By the way, Amy, no update on LeBron James. As you know, LeBron James still undecided. Is it up to LeBron James to make a decision for himself or to quickly do it for the NBA?
Yes, LeBron. That was one of my favorite things. So we've all been locked in, right? We're watching this, and I'm watching Windhorse and Shams and all these guys. And Shams' quote was, "Well, this is this is LeBron's decision, and it's based on what he wants to do." And I'm like, I'm sorry. That's like when somebody does something good. My bad. Of course, it's your bad. Of course, it's his decision. It's his decision to make. You're asking, does he need to hurry this up because the league needs to move on? Yeah, but it's his decision to make. This is his last go round to do this. It's his last chance to have the spot.
Now, I really don't think he needs another week. If I'm being honest with you,
he doesn't.
And I love
week.
LeBron, and I want LeBron to sign with the Sixers, so I'm trying to say everything nice about LeBron James because I want him here. He doesn't need another week. Like, do you want to try to win a championship? Do you want to go back home? And I get it. These are hard decisions because it's 2 years, and it could be the final 2 years. He knows what he wants. I don't think he's...
I think he's called all the information. I think he's ran whatever scenarios. And I do think it was a legitimate decision.
Right.
Like, I think he was thinking... Because there's pros and cons with everything, right? I think that it would be surprising to me if it wasn't in the East. I understand the Golden State Warriors pull. I don't know that if he really wants to win another championship... Though I think Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time.
Of course, yeah.
What else? You have two gentlemen who are on the other side of the coin when it comes to their careers. Though tremendous and all-timers, there's no doubt about it. Miami makes no sense to me.
I agree.
I don't understand that one at all. You'll never be able to sell me on it. And if he says Miami, I'm going to need a lengthy explanation.
Yeah.
Lengthy.
Look, I think LeBron James is now finding the right time, not the right decision. I think he's finding the right time. And
that's why I thought July 4th. Hey.
Would have been great.
250. Come on down.
That's if he was signed with the Sixers.
There's no scenario that makes Cleveland a good time.
No, this is the best place, and I hope he realizes that.
Come on through.
Coming up next, ChatGPT for Nick Sirianni. That and a whole lot more. Zach Berman wrote that article, but Nick Sirianni spoke to many reporters as we get set for training camp 1 week from today. Zach Berman joins us coming up next. Also, we have somebody that wants to chime in on the home run situation yesterday. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
An up-and-down performance for Turner. I'm Connor Thomas. And Trey Turner had a wild night as the Phillies took down the Dodgers 10-7 at the bank. He had multiple fielding issues at shortstop and also went 3 for 5 with 2 homers. So what do you make of it? Well, the manager, Don Mattingly, talked about it after the game.
Trey's our guy. Trey works every day. So it's not like Trey's out there and doesn't care about defense. He's working every day, all that type of stuff. So as long as Trey works, we ride with Trey.
So a vote of confidence there, and he's been red hot at the plate. Hopefully that continues. There are some milestones in the game. Turner hit his 200th career homer. Bryce Harper hit his 200th as a Philly. And the Phils had 5 homers, their highest total in a single game so far this year. Brandon Marsh and Derek Hill accounted for the other 2. Game 2 is tonight at 6:40 p.m. Zach Wheeler toes the rubber against Eric Lauer. LeBron continues, as his agent Rich Paul said yesterday, that the decision is not going to be rushed. We'll keep you updated as more news comes out. The Eagles are just 1 week out from reporting to training camp. We'll talk to Zach Berman and the Athletic coming up next on that and all you need to know. Also, Nick Sirianni using ChatGPT to motivate the team. And the Union will resume their season after the World Cup break tomorrow night. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
So yesterday, was that a reminder to you that this team can be good, that it can compete with the best teams in baseball? They beat the Dodgers last night because I watched the game ear to ear smiling yesterday saying, see, this is why I wasn't as emotional as a lot of people were during the show.
I mean,
that's coming from me. That's a lot.
Sure. I didn't need a reminder of how good this team could be. I know how good this team could be. It's about how they can play consistently. And even last night, yes, great win. Scored 10 runs, beat the Dodgers 10-7. They had to hit a season high in home runs just to win that by 3 because the bullpen is not good enough.
Well, Sugar's not going to be pitching in a big spot.
Okay,
in any game.
Andrew, they don't have anybody else.
Trey Turner is not the first big paid player that was really good at offense and not the best defensive player. The problem is usually those guys can be put into a corner outfield somewhere or they're a DH. He can't play in the field.
There are 3 paths here. People don't see the middle path very often. There's what the Phillies should not do, what the Phillies should do, and then the third path that you miss right in the middle is what they're going to do. They're not moving it.
LeBron James did not sign yesterday, despite Patrick Beverley telling everybody that his sources were telling him a decision was going to make. If LeBron James does not sign here, what is your emotional reaction? Because I would be angry, especially because I know what he's going to say. He's going to, if he signs with Cleveland, or sign with Miami, or sign with Golden State, Minnesota, I could actually see them have a chance to win, but I don't think he's going to Minnesota. But if he signs with any of these other teams and says, I signed here to try to win one more championship, the best place for you to win a championship is Philadelphia. This is all Sixers bias aside. It just basketball sense. It makes sense.
Now back to the show.
All right, we're going to be joined by Zach Berman here momentarily.
The actual Zach Berman,
the
and
actual
not the
Zach.
AI version.
You're right. The ChatGPT story. By the way, in Zach Berman's story, one of the examples that Nick Sirianni told them was he plugged into ChatGPT, give me a great, relentless effort, true sports story. And the answer that it gave back was the Michael Jordan got cut by his high school basketball team.
We've never heard that one before.
Yeah, exactly. like you need ChatGPT.
You could literally Google it. Or you could ask anyone. You could ask any person out there. Hey, what's a great comeback story where you're surprised by one of the best, but they really had to work through a lot of challenges. You would come up with 50 different answers.
He could
all
look at the rosters of who he's coached and go, oh, that would be a great one. That guy was hurt for a whole. Brandon Graham was hurt for a whole season, comes back, plays well in the Super Bowl. Whatever. We'll talk to Zach in a minute. But we have Ralph in Haddonfield wants to chime in on this home run fiasco yesterday. What's up, Ralph?
Hey guys, morning.
How you doing?
Good. Yeah, I was watching the game last night, and I saw the guy catch it with his hat, and then the hat flies up in the air a couple times. A guy goes for it, dislodges it from the hat. Guy in a Cooper DeJean jersey catches it, and this guy who has the hat gets in his face, starts yelling at it, takes the ball from his hand.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, we've been talking about
what
it.
happened.
We've been talking about it. Yeah.
So Ralph, who deserves the ball?
The guy in the Cooper DeJean
There
jersey.
you go.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even a debate. And thanks for the call, man. It's not even a debate. Amy told me she checked John Boy.
Yeah, so John Boy, who I love his breakdowns, they're so great. He does all the great thing for lip reading, which is always my favorite. So he broke it down, and he just basically posts the clip, and he puts out there who should have the ball. There's 400 plus comments, and I scrolled through the good chunk of them. I would say almost 200. Not a single person, Connor, said, hey, Halliday jersey was on to something because it touched his hat for a second.
Yeah.
Stop it. He
Connor,
had to
it's
go
you and our
back
two
2
texters,
rows.
man.
They called Copernicus crazy, too.
Yeah. You and Copernicus. All right, joining us now here on Kincade Salciunas. No John Kincade this week. He'll be back next week for his final week. But it is a Tuesday with Amy, so Amy Fadul in studio with us. We love talking to this man from The Athletic, and I'm basically questioning if Nick Sirianni's lost his fastball at all. Our man Zach Berman joins us. Zach, via Zoom. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on your show.
Has Nick Sirianni lost his fastball that he has to go to ChatGPT?
No, honestly, I
How
it's
surprised
probably
you that? Yeah, exactly.
on me. No, it's probably on me that the story was misinterpreted there, or what you said, Andrew, where he has all these inspiring stories on his own team. That's literally what Nick said. And I hope your listeners read this story and come through with it. Nick was basically saying, and I'll paint this out for your listeners. I asked Nick about keeping the message fresh in year 6, right? Because he uses inspirational stories and anecdotes and certain messages, and he doesn't want to repeat them. So almost as an aside, he said he was on ChatGPT this offseason. He looked one up. He found a story about an Arizona State wrestler with one leg, from that, and he was explaining that to his team. But then he said, as he kept looking into it, he said that the best stories are coming from their own roster, that they are creating things that you can find in prompts on ChatGPT. And that was the first quote in the story. And that was, I certainly hope that the listeners and the readers understand that it's, and I also don't want it to seem like Nick is, looking up what play to run on third down.
No, of course not.
From AI, right? And so I think.
Now, that was Kevin Petullo last year. I'm sorry.
I think it's kind of taken on a little bit of a life on its own. I mean, it's an 1,800-word story. I hope it came across well in there. But, I would tell your listeners that he used it similar to the way a lot of us use it. And, that I'm similar to what Amy said, where you can Google it. I think a lot of people are using this as a form of a search engine. Your hand hurts. What's what's going on with a sore thumb, something like that, right? And so I think that I thought it would humanize Nick, and I do think that 6 years in, Nick can be humanized a little because he's being made a caricature a bit, but I think that. I don't know if this humanized him the way I intended.
Zach, just so you know, I asked ChatGPT to tell me a little bit about you. I said, tell me about Zach Berman, and it says he's one of the best-known reporters covering the Philadelphia Eagles. Talked about the books that you have written, the fact that you're currently writing for The Athletic, some of your previous stops as well, and all your great coverage. So ChatGPT really likes you, and we really like you. That's why we have you on. We asked ChatGPT which reporters should we have on, and they spit out Zach Berman. So that's why you're on the show, and we appreciate your time. All right, actual Eagles stuff. We are a week away from training camp, and, I can't wait for this season. It's going to be so much fun, but we know how it is. They kind of ease themselves in a little bit. But if we're talking about keeping the message fresh, we know that Nick Sirianni is very detailed when it comes to camp, and he really values the joint practices more than the actual preseason games. Are you expecting much different stuff from Nick Sirianni and the Eagles coaching staff, especially with the new offense, or kind of more the same because they've been very successful?
Yeah, as far as the approach, I'd expect the same. And so I would expect that you're seeing very little in the 3 preseason games. Honestly, knowing the way Nick thinks, I could even see him being even a little buttoned down during the training camp practices in terms of what they're showing with the offense. Obviously, you're installing, your base offense, but I think they want to keep a lot under wraps this summer, and they want that element of surprise going into the season. There's only so much practice time, of course, but I think that overall with training camp, and I know this isn't always popular with some of the old school fans, but the Eagles view it, the way they've done it works is in terms of their practice schedule. I mean, they've been fresh going into the season. You look at the way Nick is in season openers. He's undefeated in season openers. They don't think that's a coincidence. So I don't think you're going to have these long, 3-hour practices where they're tackling to the ground.
Right.
It's going to, there are going to be days off and walkthroughs in there. And so I would prepare fans for that now. And then in the preseason games, I wouldn't expect to see the offensive starters. I think you might see some defensive guys. Vic Fangio likes to get his guys out there a bit, and you got to tackle. But I think that they're not going to change that because they don't think that the way the first month of the season's been and the way the season opener's been has been problematic in the past.
I love that Nick Sirianni does this, and I know that he's done this over the years, these kind of, not private, because obviously it's information that you guys can use, but he calls together reporters and the beat writers, and let's just have like a conversation. This is stuff for you guys before camp. Let's kind of get where our mindset is. And he has a couple of quotes that I've read from your article and one from like Dave and Rube that they've been putting out there. And one I thought was really interesting about the expectations. And I always think that that's something that we talk about a lot on the outside, but it's something I thought it was really good insight that how much they talk about the expectations. How much they're aware of the expectations, because this is a team that a couple of years ago talked about how they're not even going to, it's banner day. We didn't even realize, but they do know the expectations, and maybe that's more amplified after last season. Do you feel that they're a little bit more aware of those expectations because of how the season ended last year?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I would say, and I think Nick would say, that the expectations or the standards, however you want to frame it, are even higher inside the building.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the reality in Philadelphia. You always see when they'll have these national features, and they'll show clips of Andrew and Amy, talking about the Eagles, and then they'll have a fan screaming, in B-roll. But inside that building, the standards from the top, from Jeffrey Lurie, from Howie Roseman, are extraordinarily high. And this is a team that expects to play late into January. And the reality is, when in other markets, if you win 11 games and you win your division, it's considered a great year. In Philly, when you're one and done in the postseason, it's held against you. Such is life as the head coach of the Eagles. So I think they do know, after the way last season ended, that there needs to be improvement, because the standard in that building is not a first-round exit.
Zach, I know we'll get more information when they actually report and start practicing, but have you gotten any insight, any whispers about the health status of the offensive linemen that were banged up pretty much all season long?
Yeah, so based on what I've, talked to those guys and heard in the spring, that they are much fresher than they were last year. And some of that's obvious. You're fresher when you're not coming off of a surgery than when you are coming off a surgery. But the toll that the 2024 season took was real. You saw that going into camp last year. You just saw the way they looked. You saw the way they ran. Cam Jurgens was never quite himself last year.
Right.
Landon Dickerson was never quite himself last year. Even Jordan Mailata was dealing with injuries. Lane Johnson, he was banged up throughout the year. And so I do think this is a team that's fresher, or I should say an offensive line that's fresher going into the season. Now, the one kind of caveat I'll give here is that you can feel a certain way on July 28th. Your ankle gets rolled up on in camp. Something happens. Your back flares up, and that could linger during the season. So the key is how they feel going into, September 14th or whatever it is. But I do think going into camp, this offensive line is healthier,
which is a good sign, because obviously they're going to want to run a lot of different looks, and the line is going to be dependent upon that. But we all know they want to have Jalen Hurts under center more, right? So that's going to be one of the things you would hope that's going to help. And then Saquon Barkley being more involved. How much, this is going to be kind of an open-ended question, so I'll try to hone it in. We know the offense is going to look different, but how much different? How much more under center do you expect him to be? It's been something that supposedly he's been reluctant to do, but you would think him under center with a healthier line will help not only Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, but really the entire offense flow, because they're going to have a lot more different looks.
Yeah, I do think, this is a new scheme, and going into the season, it will look different, and you will see more under center, and you will see the wide zone running game. And so there are going to be noticeable changes from what they've done in the past. The caveat that I'll give to your listeners and to your viewers on YouTube is that going into Brazil in 2024, it looked different than it looked in New Orleans at the end of 2024. And what I mean by that is, ultimately, you have to do what it takes to win that Sunday. So I think there's going to be patience with this offense, but only to a certain point, because if there are concepts that aren't working, I think that they might move away from those concepts, and they're not going to run the Green Bay Packers offense. They're not going to run the San Francisco 49ers offense. They're not going to run the Los Angeles Rams offense. They're going to run the offense that works in Philly with the concepts that Mannion's bringing over. So if all works out well, it's going to look exactly the way Mannion wants it to look. But the reality with these types of things is it often looks kind of in between what you planned and what it did before.
All right, and I'll follow up with this, and this is where we'll leave it. We appreciate your time as always, but I'm curious to get your thoughts on it because the ongoing conversation is the future of Jalen Hurts, fair or unfair, right? Like, because the guy's won a Super Bowl MVP, so it's people's opinions of whether it's fair or unfair, but it's a story, and you're talking about what Sean Mannion might want to do, and it's clear what the Eagles want to do, right? If it doesn't go well, and they feel the need to go back to certain concepts that became predictable last year. What does that mean for the future of, I'll just say, this roster or this franchise? Is it we find a new coordinator, we find a new coach, we find a new quarterback? Like, what would they do if it doesn't go well offensively this year?
Yeah, it's a fair question. And I think a lot of it depends on, not the yes or no part of it, like how it looks, right? Because there's degrees to this, and if there's regression from the offense based on the way it looked last year, I don't think they're going to keep saying, well, let's keep changing the schemes and let's keep changing the coordinators, right? At some point, the reality of Jalen's contract is they're going to have to make a decision soon what the next 5 years are going to look like. I mean, Jalen's no longer one of the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL, and he's a Super Bowl MVP. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and when that guaranteed money isn't there, you need to make a decision. Are you going to give a lot more guaranteed money that makes him one of the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL? They don't need to make that decision now, and so that's why the conversation was always a little premature. But after the season, that's a real conversation to have, and the answer to that question is based on how it looks this year. If it looks worse than it did last year, I think there's going to be real conversations about the direction of the offense and the direction of the roster. But it could also, look like it did in 2024, where they're great and Sean Mannion is poached to be a head coach somewhere else, and then we're having this conversation on July 21st next year about a new offensive coordinator with Jalen Hurts, and it's there's been two ways this has gone. They've changed coordinators because of success, and they've changed they changed coordinators because of underachievement. And if they change coordinators again because of underachievement, then I think there's a real question. If they change coordinators again because of success, they've been in that position before, and you'll continue to see Jalen Hurts as the face of the franchise.
One more week until Shorts and Shells. Shorts and Shells 1 week from now. Zach, we appreciate the time, man, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Zach.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thank you.
There he is, Zach Berman via Zoom. Check out all his great books, Leap Year, Underdogs.
And honestly,
they're all amazing.
Yeah, we're all focusing on the ChatGPT because it's whatever, but you should read the article because how Zach explained it, I think it goes into further detail. It really is kind of like
we can have fun with it.
Yeah, we're obviously having fun with it. He's not using ChatGPT. He basically, it was like a Google, and he was just like, oh, what else we got out there?
Right. What other stories?
It was a one-off. I don't think he's out there, but it was good. You should check out. It's a very good article.
You should.
Because they always have great quotes that he gives, that Sirianni gives.
Yeah, no, he's good at that stuff. That's where he does a lot of his work because he's not scheming up the offense. So you heard Zach at the end there. Again, how many times have I said it, Connor? This story's not going anywhere.
No.
Unless Jalen Hurts is, without a doubt, without question, one of the reasons why the offense is successful, we're going to have the conversation about whether or not they should pay him. And for people that already don't like it, buckle up, man, because if it's another year like last year, third straight year where the passing offense is toward the bottom of the league, club Hurts be damned. Like, it's going to be a legit conversation. You can say you believe that it's going to work out, but you can't ignore the fact that it's there.
Here's the other thing. If you're an Eagles fan, it should be 100% to 0% that we want it to work out.
Yes.
We want him to be paid.
I don't think there's any, I don't know.
Well, there are, because there are people that hate the guy.
Yeah, they don't like him, and they're, I'd rather him play poorly so that they can get rid of him. But, don't do that. But there's going to be people that do that. It's just the people.
So you can have a bad experience for the entire season.
I don't want that. But there are people that ignore the fact that this is a discussion. And part of it, you need to see it play out first, and you need more information to be able to have a true stance on it. But to ignore that this will be a conversation, I think is
it's absolutely a conversation.
Naive. Yeah.
I mean, and will continue to be. It'll be a conversation for the people that think that it's ridiculous to even have a conversation when he starts playing well and lives up to the expectation. they're going to be the ones hey, you guys said that. That's a conversation. And then if he doesn't, if at any point he falters, because that's just the law of averages for every single player at his position ever.
Yeah.
Then the other people go, well, see, I told you. It's like it's always going to be a conversation.
It will be, and you can't just deny it because that's what a lot of people want to do.
Just going to put our head in the sand.
Yep. All right, coming up next. I didn't see something following the Phillies game this weekend until after the show yesterday. There is something that I want to play and react to together as a show, but it's just another moment that makes me say, I am so ready for this to be over. And it has nothing to do with LeBron James talk. It's about a player on the Phillies. It's Kincade and Salciunas, Johnny out, Amy in, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A crazy night for Turner. I'm Connor Thomas, and Trey Turner had a wild night last night at the bank. The Phillies took down the Dodgers 10-7. The important thing, they won the game, but Turner had multiple fielding issues at shortstop. He also went 3 for 5 with 2 homers. So what in the world do you make of it? How do you evaluate it? Trey Turner was asked after the game.
Just ridiculous game in general by me, which I was happy we got the win, but just roller coaster of up, down, up, down. But, when you do things like that or have games like that, sometimes you just got to laugh about it.
Well, we weren't laughing watching him on defense, but the homers you will absolutely take. You'll also take the milestones that were met. Turner hit his 200th career home run in the game. Bryce Harper hit his 200th as a Philly. And the Phils had 5 homers, their highest total in a single game all season. Brandon Marsh and Derek Hill were the other 2 who went yard. Game 2 is tonight at 6:40 p.m. against the Dodgers. Zach Wheeler faces Eric Lauer. The LeBron watch continues. His agent Rich Paul saying yesterday that the decision is not going to be rushed as much as we want to hear about it. So we'll keep you updated as more news comes out. The Eagles are officially 1 week out from reporting to training camp. We just talked to Zach Berman about all of that and the conversations as we get ready to see the team in camp. And the Union will resume their season after their World Cup break has come to an end. Their first game back is tomorrow night. I'm Connor Thomas on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Kincade Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
It is 9:30 here on Kincade and Salciunas. Johnny of the K on vacation this week. He will be back next week for the final
week.
It is a Tuesday with Amy Fadul in studio with us. We've been talking a lot about the fans in the stands yesterday. The hat guy with the baseball and Cooper DeJean and Connor. You're still alone in somewhat defending, and the two texters in somewhat defending the guy with the hat. I would love to hear from the guy, but I'm gonna guess that he's gonna be hiding for a little bit until he eventually he'll talk eventually, but not today.
I mean, you think? I don't know that we ever hear from the guy again.
He's here. That's the the woman in Florida could literally disappear. This guy can't.
Yeah, I think he might be forced to talk about it. The people will find him. People know him. There's no way you didn't know. You see who he is.
Right. There's somebody that might be out there that doesn't like him. There's
oh yeah, you know that guy.
How do I? There was once a troubling story that happened at the station many years ago with a former employee, and his actions were exposed by somebody that didn't like him. That's what it was. It wasn't like they were friends and he was like, I'm going to tell somebody. It was like, oh, I don't like that guy.
Yeah, but I think people forget about this in a week. So if somebody doesn't bring anything up, I think everyone moves on from it.
Yeah, well, people don't forget, as Jonah Hill said in Superbad. All of his coworkers won't forget. You're the guy. Oh my God. Oh, you got a baseball. Watch out. I would bring if I knew that guy.
The next game he goes to. The people he went with. Oh man, listen, we can't sit in home run territory again. All right, we can't.
Yeah, I don't want this to happen.
You're in 422 now. That's
if you're working at the desk next to him, I would bring a baseball into work today and be like, "Oh, this is mine. This is mine. You want it? It's mine."
I would put a baseball on his desk and I'd come in and I would take it away from him. So he sat down.
See, this is why he has to address it. All right. Speaking of addressing things, Alec Boehm decided to address his poor play. Because he was asked about it. Alec Boehm now down to 216 on the season after his 0 for 4 performance yesterday. He did have back-to-back two-hit days. I don't want to take that away from him. He went 2 for 4 against the Mets and 2 for 5 in Game 2 of the series against the Mets. But ultimately, for a guy in a contract year, he's not coming through. His last chance, I would think, is having a great playoff for him to get paid. And I'm not talking $300 million, but
a substantial pay raise.
Hey, Alec Boehm made his money in Major League Baseball. It's going to take a playoff performance because this season has not. And are we surprised? The guy that has not really been able to handle big moments, the guy that admitted to being tight in the playoffs last year, a guy that gets very emotional when things aren't going well. And, oh, by the way, I'm not making fun of it. I'm just adding to the story the fact that he had the lawsuit with his parents.
Awful.
Are you surprised that this guy's struggling this year? I'm not at all. Down to 216. So the other day, and I didn't see this till after the show yesterday, so I missed it. And I was like, all right, we got to talk about this today.
I missed it completely.
Alec Boehm was asked about his recent struggles offensively, and he gave a different kind of answer. Take a listen.
A lot of it's got to do with how tough the pitching's gotten in this league. I think when you can really run into some teams with some tough bullpens and just they can match up well, and just it seems like you can go through some games where you see just 3 guys throwing 100 and from both sides and moving the ball around, and then sometimes you can wait those guys out and get some pitches in the middle and do something with them, and sometimes they end up just kind of dominating you and making pitches, and it can be obviously some days more than not. We kind of do our best to grind the starters out of the game when they have their good stuff and try to see a few extra pitches and try to put good at-bats on guys, but today it wasn't really one of those days.
That was a despicable answer. And I will reiterate that I can't wait for the day that he's no longer on the Phillies. I've been done with Boehm for 3 years, so this is nothing new for Andrew Salciunas to be saying this kind of stuff. But that's I'm struggling this year because the pitching's good. Like, the pitching's always been good. Believe it or not, Major League Baseball pitching has always been good. We are at a point right now where pitching's ridiculous. And, look, we watched an all-star game where
pitching was on full display.
A team got shut out. Like, the National League All-Stars got
the best
shut
hitters
out.
in the National League got shut out.
Everybody knows that pitching is good in baseball, but you batted 287 last year. I didn't hear you talk about the pitching. You batted 280 the year before that. You batted 274, 280. Now, because you're having a bad year, it's because the pitching's gotten better in baseball. Like, come on.
There's a way to answer that you can say something about, I think you have to take, it seems like he's passing the buck. And I think that's where it is. You could acknowledge that pitching's tough and then still take some personal accountability, right? Yeah, the pitching's tough, but I'm not seeing it as well, and I need to do. There wasn't any of that. It was like, well, it's really hard to hit these guys, and they're coming at you from both sides at 100 miles an hour. And I needed something else. There was no accountability.
No, because if I'm a team looking for a free agent third baseman, oh wait, this is the guy that said pitching's good. All right, I'm not going to sign it. Like,
we got that part. We know pitching's good.
It's a horrible answer.
But you need to have some ownership. Like, that's the quote needed to continue. Like, pitching's been, this is maybe the best we've seen. It probably is. Maybe it is. Who knows? But at the same time, don't you have to say, and I need to do better? And I need to be able to do this.
Yeah, I got to change my approach at the plate or whatever.
Like, you talk to guys that hit. What exactly? He doesn't work a count. And so when you talk to players over the years, successful players who have gone through struggles, because every player goes through it. Every player that's batted 300 at some point is batted closer to 200. That's exactly why it's an average.
Yeah.
That's why we know that. They all talk about their approach. And I remember something that Ryan Howard once said. He goes, if I'm struggling, I let the ball come as deep in my stance as possible, because then I can foul it off, and then I work from back to front. So they all have things that they do in order to get out of the slump, out of it. Mm-hmm. You never heard those guys and say, well, you know what, it was Roy Halladay. It was a really good day. And
right. No, they don't say that.
You tip your cap, but at the same time, you have the ownership at the end of it. You say, yes, I was facing whoever, inner pitcher here. I was facing the Miz. The Miz was great. He was on a roll. He had 14 strikeouts. But if I had, but I think going forward now I can learn from that. Or now I know that I need to let him, come deeper. Or I need to jump on the fastball when I see. There is a certain ownership. You can't just say like pitching's good and then just let that be.
And by the way, it's from the guy that has literally been benched in a playoff game for
He's
whining.
not a guy that's ever batted 300.
The team could score 10 runs, but if he had a bad day, they had to put their arm around them. Go ahead. It looks like you want to defend Mr. Bone.
Well, I want to defend the message. I don't want to defend. Amy's absolutely correct when she's talking about there has to be ownership there. But Jason Stark was on with Unfiltered last week, and I think it's really important we hear this because that's a Hall of Fame baseball writer, and he talked about this after the All-Star game, like pitching in Major League Baseball.
It's just too hard for even the best hitters on earth to hit these dudes throwing this velocity with this much information. The defense is playing so deep. I feel like this is the last thing on the field that baseball has to fix.
So there's a deeper conversation here where pitching might be too good. But Amy is absolutely right. Like, as a player, you can't say your job is to hit them. So you can't come out and have that soundbite. It's we were close from Dave Dombrowski. You're right, but you can't say it. That's what I think this is.
Yeah, pitching's good. Yes, pitching, the best pitchers in the world are pitching in Major League Baseball. And some guys are hitting around 300. And Alec Boehm is not.
Some guys, like 6 people.
Yeah, okay, some guys are hitting 280. Some guys are hitting 270. Some guys are hitting 260. He's hitting 216 this year.
Right. The messenger's not the right person for it. But the message is something that is a fair conversation about baseball.
Fine, we can have that conversation. But again, I will reiterate my point. I can't wait for him to be gone. I am so excited for the last Alec Boehm game, and I'm hoping it's Game 7 of the World Series and they win it. Like, I hope his last game is them winning a World Series. That would be great. But he's just another guy where it's like, dude, it's always something with this guy. There's an excuse. There's a complaint. There's a slamming of the helmet. There's a being benched. There's, this is why this is happening. This is why it's happening. Like, dude, I'm not saying he stinks at baseball. The guy's going to be a career 270, 280 hitter, right? Like, he'll be in baseball forever until he retires. The guy's been here for 7 years. I'm exhausted by it. Exhausted by it.
You've never seen It's never come to fruition.
No, he's 6'5" and he can't.
Well, that's your issue. He's not your third baseman.
No.
Right? So you got to take some of that out of this conversation.
Dude, my third baseman this year, who is 6'5", has 12 home runs and 14 doubles.
Okay,
that's
how many
horrible.
double plays has he hit?
We buried the power
both of
thing.
those.
We buried the power thing 4 years ago.
Yeah, and that's why I've been ready
but
to
we
move
shouldn't
on.
have buried it.
Well, I know. I'm ready for them to have a third baseman that can hit for power as well. But
I'm not even screaming about this. I'm just
like, hit for average.
I'm just so like.
It's also fair.
I'm just so defeated that this guy's been on this team for this long, and it's always something. And now we're complaining. Hey, guess what, Alec? When you get to the playoffs, because they will, I still think they win the division. You're going to face good pitching.
Yeah.
You're going to face the best starters. You're going to face the best bullpen. And if you come up small in the playoffs and you get eliminated in the first round, second round, maybe you win the World Series, but you were bad throughout the playoffs. Is it going to be because you face good pitching? Or is it because you've come up small in the playoffs most years? I hear that and I'm like, come on, we can't be doing this. We can't say stuff like that. It's horrible. All right. It's Furkan Korkmaz, Tobias Harris level of can't wait for them to be gone. And
that's not fair.
Why?
Because one, he's not that level of player for this. Well, Furkan's a different conversation, but on the Tobias thing, he's not that level of important to this team.
Why not? He bats cleanup.
He bats cleanup because they don't fill the roster.
But he's important.
But listen, let's think about how the Sixers roster was constructed. You needed the everyday guy. You needed the guy that's going to just be there and you can count on him because you got the big three, right?
Yeah.
Do we not just go over the big three with the Phillies?
Schwarber, Turner, Harper.
Well, you got the big two because Trey Turner.
Okay.
It's
he
more
won
on
the batting
Turner.
title last year. But yes, I hear you. He's had it up. We all know that. But you have a big three. And then you need the also guy. The guy's like, also, you get the consistent play from your forward in Tobias Harris, but you don't because he's Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
And you don't get the consistent. I think that's a pretty good parallel. Connor?
The difference is one dude was on a max contract and the other dude has never even been paid more than the low-level
No. Tobias Harris, he made more money last year than Bryce Harper.
No, that's what I'm saying. Tobias Harris got paid. Alec Boehm, they're not paying him.
He makes $10 million.
Alec Boehm and Tobias Harris are the same player.
$10 million.
You're asking them to do something and they're just not doing it.
$10 million.
And it's a big reason why you're not winning. All right, coming up next, we have a winner already in the month of July, Amy, for the most disrespectful thing you could say to an umpire in 2026. If you guys didn't see what happened last night, not in the Phillies game.
No.
It's an all-time.
It's an all-timer.
Yo, dude.
It's an all-timer.
Better than Alec Boehm's comments, though. It's Kincade Salciunas, Amy, and 97.5 The Fanatic.
Got something to say about Philly?
It is 9:48 here on Kincade Salciunas 97.5. The Fanatic. Johnny out today, and the rest of the week he will be back on Monday. All right. Connor, were you locked into Reds-Mariners last night?
I'm well aware of the situation.
So you were locked in?
I was not. I was watching the Phillies and Dodgers.
Oh, come on, man. You weren't locked into Reds-Mariners in July?
On the Twitter.
But I saw the clip.
All right. So yesterday, he wins the award. Caleb Ferguson is a left-handed pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds, and he is the award has been named. I got what is this called? The Billy? Is that what's behind me? It's a picture of Bill Colarulo on a trophy. I got the Billy for the most disrespectful thing you could say to an umpire because it's not going to get beat. So last night, Reds are just getting beat up. It's 7-0 Mariners in the 7th inning. And,
a grand slam.
Yeah, nothing's going the way of the Reds.
Yeah, he had led up a grand slam.
Yeah, and we've all
it's 8-0. Yeah,
we've all been there. You're angry at yourself, but you're going to take it out on anybody. I've seen that on the golf course. I love my dad. I have seen my dad have a bad round, and then one day when I was in high school, he takes too long to swing. He does. Connor, you golfed with my dad once, right? Were you there?
I have not.
Oh, no, that was Brendan Gunn. My dad does the field goal kicker thing before his tee shot. He takes 3 steps back and steps over. It's unbelievable.
Hey, pre-shot routines are important.
Oh, it's amazing. But he takes freaking forever. All right. And one day I had to sneeze, and I was holding it in because I'm like, I don't want to sneeze in his backswing. And I'm sorry, when you take 10 minutes to take your freaking tee shot, you can't hold it anymore. So I sneezed in his backswing. He shanks the shot, and it was my fault. Meanwhile, he shot a 55 on the front 9. So was it the sneeze on the tee shot, or is it your ability at the sport of golf, Pop? So yesterday, Caleb Ferguson gives up a home run, as you mentioned, grand slam. He gets tagged for 2 of those earned runs.
And the thing is, at this point in the game, they lost 8-0. It was 7-0.
Yeah, and he's playing his old team. He was with the Mariners last year, so maybe a little heightened emotions. Who knows? So there's a dribbler up the middle, and the second baseman goes around the bag because they had a shift on the batter, and the second baseman goes around the bag and proceeds to run into the umpire. The umpire's name is Bill Miller, but he looks a lot like, oh my God, what's the historic umpire? Joe West.
Joe West?
He looks like Joe West.
He's not that big.
No, but the face.
Yeah. He's a larger person than maybe just the average slight build, but he's not Joe West.
No, I'm not calling him fat. I'm saying if you look at his face somebody did.
Yep.
Caleb Ferguson was upset because it looked like the umpire obstructed the fielder. I think that would have been a tough play to make regardless, but I digress. Caleb was upset. He proceeds to scream, "Effing fat ass. Get out of the way, you fat mother father," as Anthony would say. And it was not father that he said. Vito was just in here during the break.
Yeah.
And he goes, man, he better hope he's not playing umpire one day where Caleb Ferguson is pitching.
They rotate around.
Dude, no, Bill Miller better be Caleb Ferguson better be thanking gods for the ABS challenge system.
Right.
Because Bill Miller might actually, that's over the line. You can't call the umpire a bleeping fat ass, fat mother father. You can't do it, dude. You can't. Especially when you're down. You just gave up a grand slam.
He didn't get run or anything, though.
No.
So
and the umpire kind of just was like, all right, call time. You can't do that, dude.
Literally.
Especially after you just gave up a grand slam.
And it doesn't there was no impact. You can be frustrated or whatever. That was a low blow.
Yeah,
It was a low blow.
I'm never.
I'm never on that umpire.
Never team umpire. Never team umpire. This is the one time I'm team umpire.
You're really going after the guy. He's just it happens. Listen, we've all watched the games where sometimes the ump is in the way. He could be the fittest ump in the history of baseball, but sometimes the ball just finds them, and they're not the fleetest of foot. If they were, they'd probably be playing the game. Some of them used to play the game, but it's sometimes it just happens. But that guy was clearly frustrated. Ferguson was clearly frustrated. He'd already give up. Kyle Riley had already taken him yard for a grand slam. It was 7-0. He's getting worked.
Yeah.
And then he looks over and is because that had no bearing on the game. You did not lose the game because Bill Miller got in the way of a ball up the middle.
And you could be upset. Like, listen,
I've got frustrated.
I've gotten run from games
But it was
before.
an all-time comment.
I've said some things.
It reminded me of like when Kelly Oubre, when he was like,
your mom,
your grandma.
I was like, you know what? I guess if you're gonna go big, just go for it.
Game was already over.
Yeah, but we were at that game. That was knockout, right? That was knockout like 2 years ago. That was a bad call that ended a game.
Maybe going to the grandma might have been.
That might have been too
a
far.
Bridge too far.
But this had really nothing to do with the game.
Yeah, there was no bearing in the game.
And it's not like Kelly Oubre missed the shot and then blamed the referee.
Correct.
This guy gave up a grand slam, is angry at himself, so he's going to take it out on a guy and call him a fat motherfather. You can't do that.
And if you go, like, get out of the bleeping way, that's one thing.
Yes. Yo, dude, you got to get out of the way. You're killing me here. I'm just gave up a home run. I need outs. I've been there. I've said that kind of stuff before, but you can't go.
You can't go personal with it like that.
You bleeping fat ass. You can't do that. All right, let's close things out with the poll of the day brought to us by Dr. Avedon Appel and the team at Iron Mountain Men's Health. Poll has been strong and steady for 4 hours. Of course it is, because that's what Dr. Avedon Appel and the team at Iron Mountain Men's Health do. It's gotten closer, which is really interesting to see how the rest of this series plays out. What do we got, Connor?
So our question was last night a reminder of how good this Phillies team can be. 54% of our responders are saying, yes, they can be dangerous. 46% are saying, no, I won't be fooled.
So I still win because it's still flipped from 80% they stink to 54% they could be dangerous. That's still a major swing, but you were right. It did get closer. I just love that this is what we do. We're very emotional. We're emotional people, and that's why I love this city, because we can have two totally different shows about the same team in a span of 24 hours. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's an accurate assessment.
Yeah. Like, I can talk about the same players, literally the same players. I can be critical of Alec Boehm today, and people will love it. Yeah. Screw that guy. He stinks. And then if he goes out there and hits a home run tonight, it's, what was that guy talking about on the radio today? I love Alec Boehm. Sign him. Give him a big deal. It's how we are. I love it.
Don't know that last sentence will ever happen. But
there's probably people that want Alec Boehm to stick around.
Maybe we could just one day find a middle ground.
No, the middle ground is he should play somewhere else.
I'm not talking about Alec Boehm. I'm talking about how we evaluate a baseball season. It's not the Eagles. So training camp 1 week.
1 week away. All right, everybody have a great rest of your
Thanks,
day.
everybody. See you
I hope Middays with Marks, no Johnny Marks this week. Ray Dunn, Sean Brace, I hope they get the baseball Karen to call in.
That'd be great.
I will be open to allowing that to happen.
A friend of baseball.
Yeah, spokesperson.
Karen.
Spokesperson. You know, somebody's got to. There's got to be a statement.
Jersey.
Yes, I want to hear from him too. Tough times, everybody. All right, we'll be back at it tomorrow. See you later.